Lounge Radio. With your hosts, Dark Sakura, Sky, and Loki.
This week, a new service starting up means another one is shutting down, but one single game ending means that many more are becoming available. It's a new month, and a new story about EA's decisions makes it to the top. We'll explain all the changes that are in store on the show where every gamer has a voice.
Orange Lounge Radio.
Hello, my friends out there on the internet, and welcome back to another week of the show where every gamer has a voice. It is Orange Lounge Radio, live on this August the 3rd, 2014, with the 562nd episode of our program. My name is Rob Roberts, joining you over the next few hours to talk about video games, gaming culture, and the gamer lifestyle. Hopefully hiccup-free this week, thank you very much, with my co-host. Say hello first off to the one and only Dark Sakura, or Jamie Summers.
Can't talk, have milkshake.
Speaking of sick, you were out sick last week. Which
I had the plague.
I think you and I had a similar thing because I was here on the show and, you know, I did the show anyway and I had like hiccups and then I was feeling really sniffly and sure enough, I missed work on Tuesday.
I didn't have sniffly things. My stomach felt like rocks were in it.
Yuck.
And I ended up having to eat like very, very plain, like chicken broth and rice.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Because every time I would eat something, it would cause immediate reflux. So, yeah. I think mine was a case of gastritis.
Happy place, video games, yay.
I have chocolate
Pixels.
milkshake this week.
There you go. Is it bringing all the boys to the yard? All right. Well, I know who it did bring to the studio. Say hello to Techmaster Loki.
Hello.
Hi, Loki. How are you?
Doing fine.
So a little bit before we went live tonight, we did a little taste test, and I think a lot of your friends and people on YouTube and Facebook are talking about this contest that's happening for the second year, and that's the whole flavored Lay's do a flavor contest where they have the crazy chip flavors. And last year, they had chicken and waffles, which was amazing. Sriracha, the garlic bread one, right?
You mean the spicy ketchup one?
Yes. So this year, and I just had Loki and Dark Sakura try these before the show, and I'm curious what you thought, Loki. We had wasabi ginger, which you refused to touch it.
I don't like wasabi or ginger, so this wouldn't have been good.
And then there was cappuccino, which I think is way better than people are giving it credit for. They taste like Taco Bell Cinnamon Twist to me.
It's kind of meh.
All right, and then there was bacon mac and cheese.
That was really good.
Of course,
That was really good.
Of course, because
It
bacon.
was really cheesy. No, the thing is, I didn't even taste the bacon in
like
it.
this show. All right, and then my favorite reaction I saw out of you all night: mango salsa.
Oh, that was nasty.
Where you literally
It wasn't bad.
It was absolutely nasty.
It was not bad.
All right, we'll go into the chat room because we do tape live every Sunday night at the Voice of Geeks Network, vognetwork.com at 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern, right after the Bobby Blackwell Show. It is the show where every gamer has a voice, and you guys can join in our live chat room, live.vognetwork.com. And, you know, every gamer has a voice, even when they're wrong, such as Brad from Pod Culture, who says the chicken and waffles one was nasty. You're entitled to your wrong opinion. Those were the best. Okay, maybe you all don't agree with me. That's fine. Everybody gets to have a voice. Hey, we've got a voice here in studio tonight that we haven't heard from in years and years and years, but thanks to the magic of running into each other at conventions, we've got him back on the show tonight, and I'm hoping his mic works. Say hello, everybody, to Jonas, back on the show tonight.
Hello.
Hey, Jonas, how are you doing?
I've been doing great. I know it's been 7 years since the last time we've met.
Has it really been 7 years since you've been on the show?
Yeah, I think so, because I remember I came to the show before SAC Anime of 2007.
Yeah.
Because you've heard about it, and I was like, oh, I'll stop by the Orange Lounge Radio to talk.
You're a little quiet, so just make sure that mic gets a little closer to your mouth.
Can you all hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah, it's been 7 years because I remember I was talking to one of you guys to have a panel at SAC Anime on July 2nd.
That's right.
Yeah, we had one years and years ago. I don't know why we haven't had one since. It never is hooked up.
That was the same year I bought the Dalek.
Oh, and SAC Anime's Dragon Con weekend now, which VOG does a lot of stuff with Dragon Con, so I go out to Atlanta now.
I may be there cosplaying, by the way.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I know SAC Anime weekend is usually tough for summer because it's the same time as Dragon Con, as mentioned, as well as PAX.
Oh, yeah. And that's where we went in 2008. That's probably how we kind of lost touch, because we went there the next year. Well, it's fantastic to have you back on the show. And, believe it or not, we have some new listeners since 2007.
Oh, that's great.
So not everybody knows you. But we all met playing DDR, which, if you don't know the history of Orange Lounge Radio, Dark Soccer, Loki, myself, we all met at Roseville Golfland or Milpitas Golfland or some insert Golfland here, playing Dance Dance Revolution and, like the old school music games. And this was born of that community, really. And Jonas, you were a part of that community as well, right?
Correct.
So I have to ask, do you still dabble in the foot stomping and all this?
DDR, not so much, but like whether it's DDR or ITG, it's kind of out of touch a little bit. Only because DDR is only in Japan now because of the future installments.
Right. You know what's funny though? I was at Milpitas Golfland yesterday, and that's the first time I've been there in probably like 6 or 7 years. Like, it's been a very long time, right? And so I went there, and I remember the first place I ever saw DDR, ever saw the game. You can thank that for this show, that weekend for this show, because I remember going into the back arcade, and there was like a mini tournament going on, and people dancing crazy on the machine, and I was like, these hams up there doing that stuff. I'm like, I want to do that. Well, that's like, I know I'm white, but the arrows will tell me how to do it.
Well, see, that's the thing. This is the first time I saw DDR was actually at Fanime. So they had a fourth mix there, and I was like, wow, that looks really cool. Yeah. And then I ended up buying the soundtrack and like just then later on importing mixes.
The music was very special. I think it's a good way to put it. It was a very special
It was
time.
Cool. I don't know.
It was.
Yeah.
Just rewind back to Anime Expo 2000.
Right?
With the third mix machine and the chair.
Okay, the first time you and I ever met was at Milpitas Golfland in that same back arcade playing Para Para Paradise.
Yes.
Right? Because that was the whole time when I lived at Melrose Place, and that whole thing was going on, and then that was like the first time we met, right? So
you were living at Melrose Place after that.
Oh, was that? Oh, it's all a blur. It's all a blur. Anyway, let's not talk about those theatrics. What my point that I want to talk about with the whole the back arcade and everything that happened there, I went to Milpitas Golfland only to discover that back arcade gone.
What?
Gone. It's the laser tag arena now.
What?
They converted the back arcade to a laser tag arena.
I want to find whoever made that decision and smack them in the nose.
Well, here's
with a used dildo.
It's the sad reality of arcades, Dark Soccer. The front arcade, nothing but ticket spitters, and in the back corner, way in the back corner, way over there, you've got your Initial D's, your racing games, and then B-Mania 2EX, Technica, in the groove. That's it. Your little corner.
We need to just open Bimani-cade.
I know, but it would sadly probably flop.
Actually, that's something that could actually work based on the situation with shenanigans.
Well, okay. So literally, you walked in here like 2 minutes before we're live tonight, and you're telling us here that locally, Scandia, I don't know if we're contributing to drama or gossip, but oh well. So the Scandia here locally, which has a bunch of these Bomani machines, which we're loving, they're not going to have these machines anymore?
Because what happened was when I think it was after United States Pump Festival. For those who are not aware, it was the United States Championships for Pump It Up, which is still going on, and it's going to happen in November again at Pacific Media Expo. Shenanigans decided to put their machines in Scandia as a partnership thing, which includes converting the DDR Supernova 1 into a dual switched DDR Extreme plus the In the Groove 2 with like the Simply Lift theme, like the Pump It Up Pro to Pump It Up Fiesta 2, which is the latest one, as well as all the B-Money stuff like 2DX, Pop-In Music, DJ Max Technica, and upgraded in Maximum Tune.
Wow.
And of course, Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition.
Oh yeah.
But
so it's leaving. It's going away because there's a disagreement between the two. Or?
I don't even know what it is. It's because I just read the thing too. Apparently, it's like an audit or whatever done by the owner. But he even Sean was just like, listen, it's more important to me, that these games are there for the community there to use them, because I'll even leave them there for free. Oh wow! You bring in whatever revenue you want, and I'll leave them there for free. And because these people, are coming here to play these
Yeah.
games, and it's really important to keep that going. And they're saying, well, no.
Okay. I look message to Scandia, Sacramento. You know, hi, I'm Rob, and this is Loki and Dark Sakura. We have a podcast with dozens and dozens of listeners, so we're really important, okay? Please don't get rid of these machines, because it's like the whole reason to go to the arcade right now. Like, I hate, it pains me, I hurt, I ache when I see these other once great arcades like Milpitas Golfland and stuff, and Golflands in general go the way of the redemption machine. But Chuck E. Cheese does this too, not to pick on Golfland, but everything's going the way of the redemption machine. Like, actual video games that contribute to music and, you know, the enrichment of that, and making people excited about music and wanting to possibly play a real instrument, you know, that type of thing. This is a great thing for the community, so please think twice about what you're doing, because it would suck. So,
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think Scandia's tried a lot of weird shit. I mean, look at, was it the Scandia Screamer? This giant thing that's just an eyesore, you know, or their like shooting gallery, or just like, you know, all sorts of weird stuff that they have there. That it seems like money-making ideas that they thought, you know, I don't know if that does make a lot of money for them. The Scandia Screamer or whatever. I
don't know. Well, I'll be
really
a Scandia
weird.
Screamer when they truck those machines out of there. All right. Anyway, so on to happier things. So I ran into you at GamerX, which if you guys saw the videos over at VOG Network, you guys saw where I was interviewing Jonas. So some stuff you've done in the past few years since you got more involved with SAC Anime and all this, you actually do the game rooms at anime cons, right?
Correct.
And how did you get into that? How did you go from gamer guy who likes to play DDR to I'm now putting together all these gaming rooms at expos? How did you get into that?
Okay. I'll try to keep this as like short as possible, as short as possible, because
Sure.
it's a really, really long story.
It's all right. It's a 3-hour show, but yeah, give us the cliff notes.
Because I know it started like when, you know, the history. Let's say like, I go to Orange Lounge Radio and stuff, and then suddenly I'm starting to do tournaments because I thought the tournament scene would have died in Paradise Island. Because, you know, like what kind of tournaments happen like past the Shaft tournament?
Not a lot. Yeah, Shaft probably killed DDR for a lot of people.
No, but so I decided, okay, I start with the whole tournaments with Paradise Island. Let's see how this worked. And I didn't know it would go that a decent size. Mm-hmm. And so we did 3 shows, and then of course Paradise Island shut down for unknown reasons. Mm-hmm. Of course, get my hands on like game development within the group too, because they liked some of my step charts at the time.
Right.
And it was a fun experience, but unfortunately my contract didn't renewed from Pump It Up Pro 2 because I was working at Pump It Up Pro as well.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Very cool.
Yeah. So when people heard my name working on these things, they thought, well, let's bring this guy along.
So you did some of the steps for Pump It Up Pro?
Some, yeah.
That's like what Shane did for DDR Ultramix and that stuff. You guys should fight.
Hey, he had some awesome steps back when I was trying to put that State Mini cabinet in at
at
Roseville
Golfland.
Golfland.
Yeah.
Yes, once again, let's drudge up the bad memories of that. $1,000 it cost me to buy the parts and everything for that machine, which they ended up not doing anyways. And all I wanted to do was be reimbursed $1,000 for those parts. So they reimbursed me, and then they sent me tax forms. They charged me $300 in taxes.
What?
Yes, exactly. Wow. Because it was like, I don't know. It was stupid.
All right, stop making it about you.
Anyway, I'm
Jonas.
sorry, but
All
no,
right.
but he had some pretty awesome. He had I forget what song it was now, but he had some pretty awesome double step charts for that.
All right. Anyway, so you got more involved with even some of the game making and so forth. But then, how did you get into your first anime con?
Well, I did go to FanMaCon 2005 as my first con, but I think it was AOD 2006. I just went like with a few friends of mine, but they couldn't make it to the next day, so it was like, okay, I had to figure out a hotel place. And some people found out that I actually did some game development. But for those who are part of the anime con scene, in 2007, there were some people talking about some issues behind the scenes that people were not aware of, whether the room were people stealing money or whatever. Like I said, I don't know that.
All right, 7-year-old drama, though. 7-year-old drama.
Yeah. But anyways, they probably...
Drama at anime conventions. Get out. Get out, Jonas. Get out.
There's a lot of politics stuff, but there's some stuff I can't say. Just
Fair enough. I understand.
But I'm just saying, like, they said, okay, this guy might be a future leader of certain things, because I guess I just brought, on one random SAC anime, I brought my DDR pads, like hard pads, because they're running a DDR tournament, but they're going to use soft pads.
Was it because you were the only sucker willing to do it then?
I just thought, okay, I paid a badge for SAC Anime at one point.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, okay, the tournament's like, I have hard pads. We could just probably use that possibly.
Oh, okay. And then one success led to another.
And of course, since some people found that some people there actually competed in one of our tournaments, and then I guess the word got spread far that I did the game development. They said, bring this guy in. I was like,
okay,
I'll give this a shot and stuff.
So then this grew into something like I'm assuming you were doing Fanime kind of regularly, and then you started dabbling in other conventions too?
Yes, we didn't start doing other conventions. We didn't do some other conventions until 2009, where we got the gig with FanimeCon with numerous people, because some of the group members that joined in 2007 were also friends of mine. So we thought, okay, we could form a group and start just doing SAC Anime stuff. Then 2009, we grew into more than just SAC Anime, then FanimeCon, then all these other people who want to run startup conventions or even Gamer X just contact us like, hey, you want to do game rooms? Like, sure.
Because you guys like now have this whole little organization, right? Because you guys have a Facebook page, right? And this
correct.
What's it called? If people want to go check it out and like it and all that.
The name is The Big Anime Game Room, aka Teabagger.
So you're here representing teabaggers. All right, that's
correct.
Fair. All right. You sound like my mother talking about politics. Those teabaggers are at it again, Rob. It's so gross. Those teabaggers do. I can't stand that woman in Alaska. She's so stupid. Anyway.
Yeah. FYI, the initials was unexpected.
Okay. So
it just happened.
You're with teabaggers. All right, fair enough. Okay, so the Big Anime Game Room, which is teabaggers. All right, so how did the teabaggers? So you guys just get approached by different cons because you've done a big one like Fanime and SAC Anime, which is like SAC Anime has gotten huge.
Oh yeah.
Just in like this 6 or 7 years, I've been kind of seeing it, and so these other conventions, like you said, Gamer X, they come to you now. Mm-hmm. How do you set up for a convention like this? How do you know like what games you're going to bring to a con? Like, is there a science to it, or is it just this is what we have available, let's just kind of throw it all out there, randomize things? Or do you actually go like, because I'm going to this convention, we should bring this, that we should make sure there's DDR, we should like, how do you kind of choose what goes to what convention?
It's not just a group of, again, by the way, it's not just a group of friends just being random games. Based on like my background with like some of the competitive scene, and our staff members actually have background with the competitive scene, either whether it's from Smash and other games. We actually do some research, like an analysis of human behavior to see what games people like. Like at first, we didn't think for example, we didn't think like Just Dance would be big, and Just Dance 3 had some songs that we actually liked. So we give it a shot at an event called YaoiCon, and we didn't expect it to be that big. And later on, the popularity of Just Dance and the conventions became much bigger than we expected.
I wouldn't have thought that Just Dance was a huge convention game, but it makes sense. It actually makes a lot of sense.
Are they like talking about adding Just Dance to like MLG or something like that?
I feel like we had a story like that not that long ago. Yeah,
that sounds really
it actually
ridiculous.
exists. So
wow. Okay.
Because of Electronic Sports World Cup in Europe, they're actually hosting a world championship right now.
So you kind of have to keep a pulse on like what games, and you might not necessarily be right that this game is going to be a huge thing at conventions. Like, have you ever found that there's a game that you didn't bring, but somebody else brought it, and like suddenly everybody's playing that, and you were like, shit, we didn't think to bring that?
That was just that. Yeah, that was the story of Just Dance when we didn't know she wasn't a staffer at the time. Patricia, she decided, okay, let's bring she had the idea of Just Dance. This is before she became part of the gaming group. So we decided to give her the shot and see how it works. But it actually turned out it exceeded our expectations.
Wow.
And since we do numerous tournaments, we actually have suggestions of what people actually want.
I see. It's
and
like you get through your Facebook page and stuff?
Yeah, from Facebook or emails too, like direct emails.
And I see your website's actually getting pimped in our chat room right now. Dungeon Buster says, the Big Anime Game Room, www.tbagr.org. Fifth Dream says, just remember, teabagger orgy.
Yeah.
Perfect. Teabagger orgy. Boy, if we named the shows, there it would be right there. That'll be Horde House this week. So, okay. I want to get to the really good stuff. So I somebody's had to try to steal your shit before, right? Have you ever had people try to steal your shit?
Yes, we have. This is why we had to increase our security purposes as well as the community getting involved into making sure that no one steals crap from the game room. Because if somebody steals a game room, it affects not just one con, but the entire area, and also ruins the trust between the community itself.
Do you ever I mean, this might be a really weird question, but I'm always curious, like, kind of what makes people tick in that regard. Because I'm sure you've had to have, as the leader of this organization, you've probably had to have these awkward conversations with people that have tried to steal shit. And have you ever been able to figure out, like, why? Why do people try to steal? Is it just that they want a free game, or are they trying to hurt you guys, hurt the convention? Are they addicted to stealing? Like, I don't even know if you have an answer for this. I'm just kind of rambling, but
there's a lot of
what's the reason?
There's a lot of answers, but the direct answer is usually personal issues happening. Some people, this is why we don't really discuss about drama in conventions, but some people's like, oh, they didn't win a tournament, so they're going to try doing, whether it's they didn't win a tournament, they think a certain price is too large. Let's say they saw something in the dealer's room. Oh, it's too expensive for them to buy, or they've never seen a quote this game, or so they want us, like the intentions of stealing.
So it's acting out, like a dog pees on the carpet to act out when the dog doesn't get his way.
Correct.
That's okay. So that's okay. So it's very animalistic.
Yeah,
what these people do.
Yeah, but we always track them down, make sure that it doesn't happen because it does more damage than actual trying to help.
Mm-hmm. Now, going to the flip side of things and talking about something a little more positive, I'm sure you guys get like some donations too, and people that like contribute as well to what you guys are doing. Do you ever get any like really cool, like, oh my God, somebody's contributing like this rare game import that everybody's going to want to play? Do you ever kind of get that kind of stuff? We actually sometimes get that, because I remember the first. Here's a good example of like Gamer X1, where they got sponsorships from Microsoft and EA to get like Battlefield copies to people who participate, who win in the tournaments. Because companies will fund it if you give them like a right reason for them to come up and approach. Okay.
And sometimes like some other groups, or what we call proxy, like let's say I'm like you're Orange Lounge and I'm like Teabagger, we can proxy each other to build relationships, or another group, like let's say Mission Star Podcast at one conventions where they wanted to do a raffle in the game room. It's like, we'll let that happen, see how things go.
Okay.
So they bring not only new ideas, but it also gives us a more better understanding of what other communities do too.
We should look into that, see if we can get some free games and get a little Voice of Geeks Network and Teabagger magic going on here. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll have to look into that for the future. Okay, very cool. So you just wrapped up at Gamer X2. That's where we ran into each other. How'd that convention go for you? Was it fun?
It was fun. I know that a lot of the information's been posted online, whether it's from Polygon, for those who have read. But it's kind of unfortunate though for us that Gamer X2 is in hiatus right now, based on the news that we've read.
Right. Because that's a convention you don't get to do next year, maybe. I don't know. Actually, we're going to touch on this a little later. There's some very interesting Gamer X developments this week. We're going to get into a little later, okay. So I'll put that on hold a little bit. But we don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be how. I mean, but you're a straight guy that and we heard a lot of these talks from straight guys who went to Gamer X that were pretty impressed with the convention. That they were just kind of like, yeah, it was cool. It was really chill. Did you kind of walk out of there with the same attitude? Like this was different?
Of course. I mean, like I said, like I mentioned to some of the people, and this is going to be an article that's going to be written soon, that one of the biggest reasons why we wanted to try Gamer X and Gamer X2 was to show that there's more to gaming than just like straight people, as well as for us like teabaggers and stuff. We do not discriminate at all.
Well, if you're going to call yourself teabagger, you have to have a little bit of... You obviously have a little bit of, I don't know. Anyway, that's great. That's fantastic. I think that's the perfect attitude to have.
Because even though we deal game rooms, sometimes the people that go to all these events sometimes show some social inactivity or negative comments that, even though it doesn't hurt, even though it's not, we didn't have nothing to do with it, it could affect us too. If that person once said the forbidden words to other
Right, like the T word or F word and things like that. I get it. Like somebody in your game room says something, then that's not going to be posted on Facebook that such and such person said. It's going to be, that game room at GamerX was so awful because they used all these slurs type of thing. That's not going to fall on the individual who said it. It's going to fall on you.
Correct.
It sucks. So you have to kind of create an environment where that doesn't happen, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Tricky.
This is one challenge that happened at GamerX 2. Yeah, and this is something that was really hard to figure because we're trying to figure out the behavior, like what can we do to make people happy.
Right.
In one of the Just Dance tournaments, I guess this one person, I'll just say person. I can't. It's hard for me to identify.
Right.
I guess some like one of the attendees said she said that, but that person got upset and said, "Is it she?"
Okay, so it was misgendered. The person was misgendered.
Correct.
Which is not the environment. Like GamerX is trying to create an environment where people can be who they identify as, and who they are. So yeah, I can. If somebody gets misgendered, that's a big no-no, especially at a con like that. Yeah.
But we did clear it up to her just to make sure she feels better over the matter. It was just an unfortunate sight because the Just Dance room was the tournament was so big. Everybody heard it, and she heard it too, right in front of a bunch of people.
Hopefully, I don't know if they had one of those stickers. I know those helped a lot. Like when it's like, well, how do I, what gender does this person prefer? Then you can, you can see the sticker. So, yeah.
But I think at the end she was okay with it. It was not done with ill intentions or anything like that.
Okay. So. Okay. So what about what's coming up? You've got other conventions coming up, right? You're doing SAC Anime. This
Correct.
Coming, right?
FYI, I know some people are wondering what's the tournaments and stuff. We will release the tournament list this week. Also, and we're going to make a special announcement for additional pot prize. If two objectives actually follow, if people can bring Teabag to 500 likes or a certain post to like 50 likes on an actual post, we'll offer a special bonus to a certain tournament.
So this is like a Kickstarter, only you want people's social involvement, not their money necessarily.
It's social involvement because with new games coming out, they want to see the competition still rise up while still teaching the people who are not in the competitive scene to be competitive and to enjoy the game at its fullest.
Okay. All right.
So it's not just getting 500,000 likes, and whore it out. It's more like connected to community.
Yeah. It helps you get a bigger voice when it comes to, what do people want to play and really see at the cons and stuff. It's a win all around. Yeah.
Correct.
Cool. Quickly, any other cons that you've got coming up? I got to get into gaming news for the week, but
I know SAC Anime is coming up. SnafuCon, the Arena event.
Oh, okay.
It's coming up soon in October. One of our partners, crew members, who brings the old school games that you bought, like the Sega Genesis and everything.
Yeah,
I know because I know you're playing. I saw you playing Sonic and Knuckles or Sonic. 2.
Yeah, Jeremy from Koopa Club and I were throwing down on Sonic. It was Sonic 3. Yeah, it was Sonic and Knuckles attached to Sonic 3. Well, it was the only thing that was open that we could find because your game room was so popular. We couldn't. So that happened to be open at the moment. We were like, yeah, let's do this. So we had a lot of fun playing that. I had more fun because I won.
Awesome. Yeah. I got to thank Abe who actually brought the equipment there. Who was actually the manager of the SnafuCon's game room. So it happens in October, so stay tuned for that.
All right.
And just one to clarify things. If people don't see a game that they want to play badly, just ask us. Not all games can be shown because of the high demand that everybody wants to play every game possible. So you can always ask if we have this game, and we'll assist you guys as much as possible.
All right. Very cool. Well, again, check them out on Facebook. Just remember Teabagger, the big anime game room, because if they get to 500 likes, they're going to bring more prizes to SAC Anime. And even though you might not live in Sacramento, you might live somewhere in California or hell, Nevada, it sounds like, and probably Oregon soon, where these guys are going to be. So best of luck to you as your thing grows and grows, your organization. And stick with us and talk about the week in gaming. All right.
Of course.
Do you still play a lot of the new stuff? I know the game rooms do a lot of classics. Do you play PlayStation 4, Xbox One, or what are you playing these days?
I have a PlayStation 4. I missed out on the Destiny beta because I was so busy with a lot of life stuff.
Oh no, you missed out.
and some other games and like more game business stuff. But I still have a Wii U. I have a Wii U still, so I play some games.
Nice. Well, we'll get to your gaming week in a little bit here, so we're gonna get to how was your gaming week. Loki wants to jump in real quick though.
No, I was just because I went. I had to go like the page because I haven't liked the page yet. But it does bring up one good question though. Are you gonna include a ball pit in future game rooms?
That was something that was suggested to us, and there are a few things that we'll say the word maybe. We can't guarantee anything about that.
Will it cost $17,000?
I feel if nothing else, what DashCon brought to the world was that every convention will be expected to have a ball pit now. It's going to be a thing where every convention is asked, "Where's your ball pit? I want my hour in the ball pit."
Have you already seen the people cosplaying the ball pit?
Oh yeah, I knew that would be a thing. Somebody like that same weekend, because there were other, obviously Gamer X was going on. I think there was another convention going
California
on at the same
Extreme.
time too. Yeah, not just that, some other stuff
Evo.
back east. Because I want to say Rama or somebody had posted a picture of somebody that was dressed as a PayPal account looking for $17,000. Like that same weekend. Like that's how fast the internet works, people. It's amazing. All right. Anyhow, let's get into our gaming weeks, the types of video games that we've been playing this week, and we'll get into week in gaming news as well. Let's start with you, Dark Sakura. What types of video games you've been playing this week?
I've been playing some Final Fantasy 14. Last weekend while I was sick, Dan played through and beat Mega Man X.
I saw your pictures on Facebook.
We had a couple hours to kill.
It was fun.
Yeah. I've been playing a little bit of Bravely Default.
Why do you call it that?
Just because I tried to say default the other day at work, and I said default. So since then, it's been Bravely Default.
Okay. That game's done very well for Square Enix. There was a report that came out this week or last or something that they've sold 1 million of that game worldwide. Yeah. Great.
Dan and I are probably we're talking about getting rid of some of our more expensive stuff that we're not playing anymore. But he and I are actually planning on like a regular game night, and he bought me Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD remix, whatever, for matching service .com edition. So we're going to be starting that one together.
You'll probably finish it just in time for Kingdom Hearts 2.5, which is coming out.
Which he's ordered for me so I can get a pin.
Hooray.
That's the whole reason we got it, so I could have a pin for my collection. Because pin trading.
I love how you just, like, literally within the same breath talked about, we're going to be getting rid of some of our stuff because we have a lot of stuff, but I got a pin, and I bought this game because I got a fucking pin.
No, actually, we're going to be getting rid of, like, a lot of our DVDs and seeing what we can keep digital. Basically trying to downsize because as much as we love our games and love our stuff, a person can only take up so much space responsibly. So
sure,
that and we want to move.
Understandable. Loki, how was your gaming week?
I played pretty much nothing. The only thing I did get, I was hoping to be able to play a little bit more than nothing because we had our like kind of work game conference thing.
I was going to say, I thought that was this week, and you were hoping to play some new stuff.
Yeah, but we had a lot of no-shows, one of those being Tecmo Koei, and they usually bring a demo, but they didn't have anything. So the only thing I got to actually see, didn't really play, shame of like I got to see Trap Team, but okay. I don't know. It's Skylanders. I just don't give a shit about Skylanders. And all I saw was like, they were like saying, okay, yeah, see, look at these little trap crystals or whatever. You put it in there and you get to capture enemies but if you trap a different enemy with this, then that old enemy's gone. So you need to buy as many as you can to be able to trap. I'm like, oh, come the hell on. Can you be any more obvious? It's like, seriously, let's just sell all this shit. They'll buy it. And it's like, come on, you guys. It's so obvious now. But so that's really the only new game that I saw. They didn't even have, like, Ubisoft didn't have anything. Even sometimes they bring Just Dancers.
Sadly, do you think this is because with the news of your company being sold, they just are kind of like,
yes, because
this is a lame duck expo?
No, that's not why. It's not why at all. It's because the Ingram Expo is the week prior. So there's a lot of reps that already went out to that, and because of that, there's certain reps at these companies that call on Ingram, and there's certain reps at those companies that call on our company. And so it was kind of that weird gray area, like, okay, well, is it this rep that's coming out, or is it this rep? And so just a lot of them didn't come, or, I don't know. But I got to rep, for 7 different companies because I was working they didn't show up booth. Let me talk about all their games. So, I got to do I was the rep for EA, Take-Two, Microsoft, Konami.
Do these companies realize
Bethesda.
that you were going to be repping them?
No, they weren't. But thankfully, Bethesda and Konami were super easy because they have nothing coming out.
Well, the Evil Within, Bethesda?
Yeah, the Evil Within and maybe the Elder Scrolls Online. Konami has soccer.
And there's there's that, don't call it Team Fortress 3, but it's pretty much Team Fortress 3 game that Bethesda has.
Yeah, but that's next year.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not this year at all. I was only talking about stuff for the fourth quarter. But, so I got to do that stuff, and that was kind of fun. I made my own trailer loop and everything, and there wasn't even any swag. It was there was swag. It was giant fucking bags from Atlas. Like, these bags were ridiculous, the amount of swag that would fit in those. They didn't even have a traditional handle on them. It was like a backpack. You were wearing this big swag backpack thing.
All right.
So that was that.
Yeah, Darcy,
I forgot one other.
Sure.
Sims 2
Oh, did you play
for free.
They gave away the whole shebang, yeah.
Yep.
I forgot to grab that.
I put all the dirty stuff back in my game too.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. It works.
All right. So you got to see.
But I'm building a compound that my character and her cat live in.
And what do they do in the compound?
I don't know yet. I'm still building the compound.
Reject the outside world.
I've spent more time building the house than I have actually playing the game. So
that's what happens with the Sims.
I did download that just because it's free and I can't possibly pass up on it. Free stuff.
I forgot, but Alan grabbed it, so I could always just use his login if I really had to play it.
Yeah,
the chat room is taking this fart thing away too.
Yeah, now everybody's putting fart in the name of game titles because of what you did with Bravely Defart.
Defart.
We've got Fartsa Horizon says Raginator. Mario Farty says Act Deft.
I came out with Final Fart Assy.
The Fart of Us says Act Deft. Okay, you guys, how
Mario
old are
Fart
we?
8.
My favorite.
How fucking old are we?
Is Farting Mama.
How fucking old are we? Chat.
And then,
I have never yelled at a chat room like this before.
But Fifth Dream has brought it back to the news and linked to the article that says smelling farts don't prevent cancer.
Grow up, all of you. All right.
So would that be for example, Kingdom Farts Toots .5? All right, I'm done.
I fucking can't. I can't.
Street Farter 4.
I will bring those wasabi ginger chips out.
That's fine.
That will
Bring
be
them
the
out.
end
I'm not
of
going to
you.
eat any
That'll
of
be
them.
the end of you.
Rob,
What?
let it go.
Let it go. All right, let's go to Jonas, our guest,
Let it blow.
who can hopefully. What? What's up?
Friend of mine, I think he's here.
Oh, your friend's here. Well, do you want to give us quickly your gaming week?
Of course. I'm technically playing 3 games competitively. Just Dance 2014 because the World Cup Invitational.
Go, yeah, we'll let Jamie do our duty. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so I'm competing on that. So I'm hopefully get the trip to Paris, France, because that's for the top players go to Paris, France with all expenses paid. Pump It Up Fiesta 2 because of the United States Championships at Pacific Media Expo. There you go. So, and of course, like everybody's doing, is Mario Kart 8. Yeah, I've been playing that competitively, won 3 tournaments, and I'm undefeated in rounds so far. So I'm 10-0 and 3-0.
Nice. I bet. Does the Mario Kart get pretty competitive at your game rooms?
In Gamer X2, it was big.
Oh yeah, I guess it hasn't been out long enough for you to take it to a lot of cons, but
Sack
Gamer X-
Anime will be the biggest test to see how big it's going to be.
All right, sounds like fun. All right. Well, let me talk about my gaming week real quick, and then we can introduce our guest that just arrived. My gaming week, I played a lot of old standby stuff that I usually play, like Final Fantasy 14 stuff. I did play a few new games. Rogue Legacy on the PlayStation 4 just came out this past week, which I've played on the PC before, and obviously I like the retro vibe this game has going on, and it's obviously recalls a lot of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but with the roguelike twist of the fact that the castle randomizes every time you play the game, and you get more. It's Rogue Legacy. Jonas is like, what is this game? Rogue Legacy. It's a PlayStation Network game, and you can also get on PC, Steam. And the game is hard as hell. But the good news is that even when you die in the game, you don't die permanently because your predecessor takes your place. And all the gold that you collected, you can spend on upgrades. But to get back in the castle, you'll have to give up all your change. So whatever gold you don't spend on upgrades, you're going to lose. So you want to buy things every time, and it'll help you make your character a little more stronger, a little more stronger, a little more stronger, until you can take on the boss characters and go into the other areas. And the other big twist in Rogue Legacy, your descendants all have issues. Most of them have issues. And that could be anything I say issues very, very liberally, because like some of them they'll say they're gay, which obviously isn't an issue, but it's just like that will change the ending if you happen to beat it with a gay, not to be a spoiler, but that'll be something. Some of them do crazy shit, like this person is colorblind, so the whole screen is black and white when you play. Or this person has vertigo, so everything is upside down. Or this person tends to exaggerate. So whenever they take damage, the damage meter shows like 5 billion is the damage they took, even though it was like only like 24. So some of them are really silly, but some of them like really will screw with your gameplay. Like some of them are like tinier. This person has dwarfism, or this person has gigantism, or this person has ADHD, so they run really fast. Or just other things like that. Or this person has irritable bowel syndrome, so they make little fart noises when they jump. Like really, like your little jokes in chat, right? Like little silly things like that. So I mean, but it adds like a different cool little layer to the game, the fact that it's not always the same person you're running through the castle with. So yeah, if you like the retro games, if you like Symphony of the Night or roguelikes, I think Rogue Legacy is really cool, and it's only like $15. It's worth checking out. Speaking of roguelikes, this one just hit Steam this week in a like pre-alpha. What do they call it on Steam? First look?
Early access.
Early access, that's it. So on Steam Early Access, and I got it specifically because we have a chatter who's called into the show to talk about this game before, and I've heard a lot about this on Twitter. I checked out Crypt of the Necro Dancer on Steam Early Access because it just came out, which is also a roguelike, meaning it has randomly generated dungeons and items that you find. But here's the catch. It's a music game. So as you play, you have to move with the beats of the music. Because if you don't, your character will get frozen, or you won't do the moves that you want to do. And it's really funny because as you do it more and more in time, then the rooms start lighting up like it's a disco and this stuff. So what I find that it does is it forces you to think fast, because you have to move in time with the music. You don't have time to think about, am I going to go left or right, or have I been down here, have I been by here? Because you need to already be pushing the button in time with the music. So it turns Rogue into an action game, which is kind of a really cool twist on the formula. And the fact that it's a music game, right? Yeah, and you can load your own music, but the music that comes with the game is actually really good. But you can load your own MP3s if you want.
Ooh, question for this.
Yeah.
Here's a funny question. Mm-hmm. Is the bar or the chair included?
There is no bar that I've seen yet, but there is a variety of weapons. There's like a shovel and stuff, so maybe there's a hidden joke in there somewhere. I don't know if the developers played DDR a lot and really like understood the scene or what have you, but yeah, that'll be funny. Going to our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com. Some people talking about Rogue Legacy still. ActDef says Rogue Legacy is awesome. One of my favorite games from last year. I like the symbolism in being gay from Rogue Legacy. It changes nothing at all. Let's see. And Fifth Dream says Necro Dancer is amazing. The soundtrack is great too. So there you go. Some of our comments over at live.vognetwork.com. So yeah, I had fun playing around with Crypt of the Necro Dancer, and I see why. I think it was SHO100 Matt that had called in about the game before. I'm positive it was him. Why he really was into this, especially as a music game fans. And I like the roguelikes. I'm starting to think the genre is a little bit like every game wants to be a roguelike now. So I think it's starting to thin a little bit. But I think this was a really refreshing twist on that idea. So 4 for you, Crypt of the Necro Dancer. You go. And then lastly, okay, I have to bring this up. So I tried a new game this week, and the game I tried this week, I felt obligated to at least try it because I can't hate on a game until I've played it for myself. Like, I'm not going to be that cynical bastard on the internet that hates something based on principle, unless it's 50 Shades of Grey. I mean, let's be real. Everybody fucking hates that. Okay.
Well, oh, you mean 50 Shades of Abuse?
50 Shades of Nope.
Yeah, that's what I was calling it.
Anyway, all kidding aside, I played Kim Kardashian Hollywood, which is the most popular iPhone game right now. Stop! You are giving me judgy stares. Stop it. It is the number one game on iPhone right now, and I want to know, how is this game making $700,000 a day? They're saying $700,000 a day. So here's the question you might be wondering, whether you want to admit it or not. Is this game really good? And the answer is no, it's not good. But it's not as bad as you probably think. It's more like a Facebook game to me. It's a lot like a Facebook game. It reminded me a lot of that Sims Facebook game they had, where you have to spend energy to do certain tasks. And I appreciate that the game has some tongue-in-cheek humor in it. Like, I don't think the game takes itself too seriously. Like, I had a guy, okay, so, like, the characters in the games will, like, write tweets, and tweets that mention you will get you more fans, which helps you move up on the A-list or whatever. But, like, okay, so there's this character I got into a fight with earlier in the game, and he decided to write a tweet about me. And what he put in the tweet, he said, "A nobody ruins the party and I get kicked out? How does Rob even know Kim Kardashian? Total conspiracy, hashtag Illuminati, hashtag Obamacare." And that made me laugh. And that was the little touch that I was like, all right, so this game kind of knows its place. Like, it's not that serious. So if you want a game that's just going to make you laugh for 5 minutes, it's free. Don't spend money on it. But at the same time, there's really not much of a game here. It's go to this location and pose for all these pictures by clicking this bar and spending your energy. Like, it's a really, like, game is a really loose term with this. Like, Flappy Bird was more of a fucking game than this is. Okay, Flappy Bird, at least, you know, yeah, you had to flap and you had to dodge, and there was some skill involved, believe it or not. But there's no skill involved in Kim Kardashian Hollywood. There's none. But it's if you read TMZ.com and that type of trash, then you know what? You're probably going to appreciate some of the trash in this game too, and that's probably why it's doing so popular. So there it is. Let's see. Looking at our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com. Blender says, "Can't believe Sky passed up The Last of Us for this game." All right. Here's the problem, Blender. Last of Us, $50. Kim Kardashian, free. Last of Us, trip to Target or wherever. Kim Kardashian, press button and download on my phone. Which
now.
Press button, download on Steam.
Yeah, I know I could download it on PlayStation 4, but
there you go.
Still, I didn't want to spend all that money
$50.
right now. I will get to The Last of Us eventually, I promise. I had, for science, people, I did it for science because it's the number one game, and I felt an obligation.
You did it for the aperture science reason.
Because we can.
Because you can.
Because I was promised cake if I beat the game, and I have yet to receive my cake.
And you ended up being baked instead.
But Dark Sakura did bring me tortilla chips, which I think
and
a Mexican soda, which was
I did. Made with actual sugar and not HFCs. By the way, apparently donuts are now called sugar bagels.
Bobby Blackwolf in our chat room at live.vognetwork.com is suggesting Vog Network Hollywood. Oh, I love the idea. But it shouldn't be Vog Network Hollywood. It should be like Vog Network Fresno.
We should call it Voggywood.
Voggywood. All right. Before we get to more, we're going to get to gaming news and so forth. But Jonas, you invited a buddy of yours to come out to the show tonight. Why don't you introduce who you brought to studio?
This is Diego.
Hi, Diego.
The second head of the Teabaggers.
Okay,
here you go, Diego.
Give Diego the mic. Hi, Diego. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Hi, good. We've never met. I'm Rob. And
Rob.
We're doing a show. That's Jamie. That's Matt.
Hi, Jamie. Hi,
How
Matt.
you doing? How did you meet Jonas?
I met Jonas. Well, actually, technically, we could have met at Paradise Island tournament back in the day when they were still around. This was a tournament in Sacramento.
Right. Okay, so maybe we have crossed paths back in the day or whenever one of those tournaments.
Give or take, I'd say that we must have just like literally crossed paths and just didn't know. There were multiple tournaments that were going on that time at the Paradise Island that was across from the Arden Fair Mall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember Paradise Island.
And me and my other friends went there for a Smash Brothers Melee tournament while he was hosting a DDR tournament at the same time in the other parts of the room. So, but we officially got reacquainted back in 2007 January Psych Anime, where he just got into staffing, and I just became a volunteer, and then later upgraded to staff, and that's when we were part of the same exact department of gaming.
There you go. Now, do you travel to all the conventions like Jonas does, or?
Yes, I'm pretty much right behind him, 100%.
So you were at GamerX a couple weeks ago?
Yes, I was.
How was that? How did you have a good time?
Wonderful. I wish I would have gone to the first one, but there was complications with getting time off at that time.
Sure.
I heard the first one was a blast. The second one, which was my first one, was amazing. I wish we could have had a bigger room.
Yeah.
That was pretty much like cutting our legs off a little bit because we didn't get to use over 50% of our equipment.
Right.
And we didn't want to cause any fire hazards or have the fire marshal come in and notice, because regardless of what we did, it was pretty packed, but it was still fun. It was definitely fun.
Yeah, it was the way they did it at GamerX this year was different too, because they had that, you guys unfortunately had like a pretty small room, but that's because they had other rooms where they were showing other types of games. Like they had the Ouya games, they had the sponsor games, but I say sponsor games, but yet they were showing off indie games, which was pretty awesome because there was a lot of good stuff over there. So.
It was good for what it was. And they had an entire room dedicated for Pokemon on the DS, which was amazing. And as odd as it sounds for some people, but it's still very popular Pokemon today, even with the new game coming up, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and that's going to be pretty big because it just all of a sudden jumped up to fame again after when it first debuted back when the anime came out in the game in '97 or something.
Pokemon does so crazy well. It really blows my mind, like how really obsessed with those games people get. My roommate's one of them.
It's gotten very deep.
Yeah. What do you play? What types of games? Like what brought you? What games do you love that made you want to do this game room stuff?
Well, like when I first started actually taking games seriously back in the day, I was more into Smash Brothers. I'd say for a while that was my game because I got into the community, and in getting into the community, that's when I pretty much was getting closer to Jonas as it is. I didn't know his reputation on DDR in the past, what he's done, as much as I had my reputation. Although my group of people were not the best at it, we were more of the comedy group of doing that. So we made ourselves known of just doing. We also did our own little videos. We had a group called Teamscape.
Okay,
and we did our own little videos and. It's just nothing to be taken serious. It's just to listen to our corny jokes and such. But we actually just traveled around and met the high-round players. I also do a little bit of Street Fighter, fighter games all around, first-person shooters. I'm very versatile with video games, and I like it.
Okay, very cool. So are you excited for the new Smash Brothers that's coming?
Definitely, yes.
On the 3DS?
Yes, definitely.
Are you as pissed as I am that they still haven't revealed Ness as a character?
I'm pretty anxious to see what's going on with all that stuff.
All right, because that's the one thing where I saw this great picture on Tumblr last week where it says it's just a big picture of Ness, and it says, "I've got that summertime sadness," because he still hasn't been announced as a character.
Oh, right, I know, and he's been in. Yeah, all the games.
Yeah, he's a mainstay,
so
but
far.
It's like, how much do you freaking hate the Mother series, Nintendo?
Oh no, it's amazing.
I know,
but
it's like Nintendo just kicks it in the face every chance they get.
They just don't see good games with good characters in them.
They just don't understand Mother or online.
Fair enough. So what do people? We asked Jonas this a little bit, but from your perspective, what do people have to look forward to at SAC Anime? From the Teabaggers.
We are. We're always having different versions of games and such. We go from retro to the latest console games that we have up to date. PS4 and Xbox One, putting in Killer Instinct, which has already been showed off through us. We are hosting a pretty big event on Saturday night where they're allowing us to rent out the rooms on the bottom where the pre-registration is. And for that Saturday night, we're going to do a couple of tournaments there for the main events. And one of the big ones will be definitely Mario Kart 8.
Oh, nice. All right. So, yeah, because Mario Kart 8 hasn't been out. We were just mentioning that it hasn't been out long enough to really be at every single con yet. So this will be kind of probably like the first big tournament for it. It'll be fun.
I've dabbled with it a little bit, including at GamerX, and it is a fun game. It is definitely a fun game. People are liking it a lot. And what we want to do after seeing examples through other conventions that have done it a little bit, like we said, it hasn't been gone all the way around yet on certain conventions or places, is we're going to make it try and make it a really big event, fill up this room, get the crowd hyped, and live stream it.
Nice. I'm going to ask you a crazy question because I asked Jonas a crazy question about like people that steal shit. So I'll ask you this, and I don't even know if this is something that happens or not, but have you ever seen a fight break out in your game room?
I've heard.
You've heard.
I've heard.
All right. Well, tell us secondhand what happened.
I've heard of little things, but it was didn't I guess it didn't escalate that much. But there have been cases of like maybe splashing of water on something. But other than that, that was probably like personal business between two people. But it was squashed very quickly. It was taken out of the game room.
Okay, that's good.
Nothing escalated to draw a riot or something, which would have been really bad because we've had tight quarters a couple of times.
Yeah. But I was just curious, like if somebody like gets way into the game and they're just like, like you're a fucking cheater, and just tried to throw a punch or something.
That's besides punching and all that, which usually doesn't see, but as saying you're a cheater and getting mad at a game, that's every day for a gamer. Like,
that is true.
They get mad at every game. Like I remember just playing Mega Man back in the day. That almost ruined my childhood. Those were like, oh my god, I can remember Mega Man 2. Yeah, that really was giving me some early gray hairs.
Yeah.
I was trying to get through like Quick Man stage. Oh Jesus Christ, that just, oh man. Yeah, that like examples of that of a frustration. I can see someone's frustration and practically making me myself like getting frustrated at such a game that I want to throw the controller right at the damn TV.
Which is why nobody buys a Wii U, because those controllers you don't want to throw those.
Oh, right,
it's
exactly.
Very bad idea. All right, I'm kidding. All right, well, Diego, stay with us.
That's why they make those like Nerf armor things for him.
Oh yeah, right. Right.
Oh, Nerf is Nerf for nothing.
Stay with us. We're running a little long time. We're gonna get to some gaming news. Feel free to comment on any news you want to, and
okay.
Good luck with SAC Anime and everything you have coming up.
It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Good, glad to have you here. You missed us earlier, unfortunately. We're reminiscing about the good days of DDR and all that stuff. So, unfortunately, you missed all that fun stuff. But
I would just say that actually I don't have a history on DDR.
Oh, I thought, because of Paradise Island and all that stuff. I thought you did.
No,
All
actually,
right.
that's definitely a rhythm music game that I've never really gotten into, sadly. I love watching it, but I'm not into that game.
All right, well, then you didn't miss shit. All right. All right. We need to get into some gaming news, though. We're running a little long, so I do want to keep things moving. Really quick, some housekeeping. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/OLR, and we're on Facebook as well, facebook.com/Orange Lounge Radio. We will still be here every week with new shows, but Labor Day weekend, we will not be here. There's just a whole lot going on that weekend. Obviously, we've got SAC Anime, right? And Dark Soccer is going to be going over to SAC Anime. I'm actually at Dragon Con in Atlanta. So for those of you guys out there who are going to be at Dragon Con in Atlanta, don't forget Voice Geeks Network going to be showing up on a few panels throughout the weekend, most notably Monday morning. There will be a VOG Network panel. More details on that as the date gets closer. But because of all the shenanigans Labor Day weekend, and I'm sure you guys have your own things you participate in too out there in the listening world, we will have no show live that Sunday. So just be prepared for that. Those of you guys that rely on us to get through your Monday workday. But the good news is it's Labor Day weekend. There is no Monday workday. Woohoo! All right. Let's get into some gaming news, and let's talk about it. It's been a bit of a slower week, but as I was mentioning during Bobby's show, there's a few big tent poles, some big things going on, right, Loki?
Yes, one of those being EA's Access program. It's kind of an expansion on what they used to do before. I think they actually called their last program like Early Access or something, where they used to give you early access to like different games right before they came out. Like I remember one of the titles that they were advertising was like Madden, where you could play it 5 days before there was street date on it, but you'd have to pay a fee, and then at the street date, that's when it deactivates. So it's like, oh, you get hyped about this game and you get to play it before it comes out and that kind of stuff. But now this new thing is a little bit different. It's actually going to give you access on the Xbox One to the back catalog of EA games, which on the Xbox One isn't that deep right now. It's just a couple games, but $5 per month or $30 per year, which seems pretty reasonable. It gets you access to right now Battlefield 4, Peggle 2, FIFA 14, and Madden 25. And then it says apparently they're going to be adding to the game's selection as time goes on. Also, it's going to give you 10% discounts off of all EA digital Xbox One content. And they're saying that you're going to get access to EA big EA releases up to 5 days prior to their official debut, much like they were doing before. So a little bit kind of an update on that. And then also one of the, I guess, a limited trial game. They're saying early access to some of this. One of the games is not available, I guess, is Titanfall. It's excluded from all EA access features, and so that's kind of weird. They did say, though, that Gold, Xbox Live Gold is not required to participate in this, but of course, if you want to play online, then yes, you do need Xbox Live Gold. But as of right now, it's only on Xbox One. And apparently, Sony was saying, okay, they were offered this as well, but they didn't think it was a good value for the consumer, which, let's be honest, that's just kind of a bunch of bullshit. It's more of, hey, they were offering a service that had, I mean, a couple of things. I could see the positives and the negatives, but I think the negative for them was, hey, we've got this PlayStation Now service that we're trying to, get people to buy 4 hours of gameplay for, $4 or whatever. And we don't want someone to pay $5 to get access to multiple games.
Or even PlayStation Plus. I didn't even really consider the PlayStation Now. I just saw that it was more competitive for PlayStation Plus.
Well,
although, to be fair, Games for Gold or whatever does the same thing now. So.
Yeah, and PlayStation Plus also, they probably don't want to set precedent with, oh, hey, we're going to have all these different publishers offering these free trials for $5 for back catalog titles and stuff. But to be honest, I don't see the problem with it. I think it would be a good idea to offer this stuff, and everybody wants like with cable and stuff, they want a la carte stuff.
That's kind of the problem where the consumers are going to start to, I think, lose a little bit. Is it really reminds me of when Warner Brothers pulled all their movies from Netflix because they wanted to do their own service. Mm-hmm. And you can I'll guarantee you'll never see an EA game for free on PlayStation Plus again. Which
I don't think we've even
wasn't
seen.
Mass Effect 3 a game at one point? I think it was at one point. Mass Effect 3 was something.
But yeah, EA does. I don't know. But yeah, I would imagine that you're not going to see any of these games free on any of these services.
It's really not worth it, to be honest. Now,
well, yeah, and for me, I'm not a huge sports games fan, so right there that eliminates half the titles,
right?
And so it's just, okay, Peggle 2, which I don't need to play that for free, and Battlefield 4, which, let's be honest, we're getting to almost that game being out for a year now. It's going to drop in price eventually, or hell, if I haven't played it by now, I can rent it or buy it used or something like that. And they're thinking maybe that because it's $30 a year or something, that's going to cut in the used game sales, maybe so that people are less likely to want to buy used games from EA or something. I don't know.
It might be worth it if there was a richer back catalog, especially, and it is kind of a bummer it didn't work out with Sony because maybe via PlayStation Now you could get access to EA's entire PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 back catalog, which would be pretty fucking impressive, or might be way more worth it.
Or even on the Xbox 360, it would have been nice to be able to play SSX or, anything like Battlefield 2 or... I don't know. They have a lot of time. The Mass Effect games,
sure.
all that stuff. That would have been worth
Dragon Age.
Yeah, that would have been more worth it to me. But right now, I mean, just play, Madden or, FIFA, which I don't give a shit about, or Battlefield 4 and Peggle. I mean, it's fuck. Peggle is pretty cheap anyways, and why would I don't know. It just doesn't seem worth it right now.
So obviously, this is in the hands of consumers. If you like it, get it. If you don't like it, don't get it. And that's ultimately how well this does will have a huge impact. But the only precedent that could be set here is that if it works for EA, then Ubisoft's going to want one. Activision's going to want one.
And let's remember, let's flash back a little bit. It wasn't that long ago that EA came up with a crazy idea to do these online passes because they think that you should pay extra money for your used games because they have to run those servers and stuff, and there's going to be somehow more people on the servers with the same amount of games. And so this is kind of along the lines of that. So if this works out for EA, Ubisoft's probably going to jump in and do this kind of thing, and I'm trying to think of who else had online passes. Deep Silver, maybe. I don't know. But THQ used to do that. Deep Silver's kind of got rid of that stuff.
I'm going to our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com. SSJ100 Matt says, as a person who buys an EA sports game every year, NHL, I don't really have a need for this service. I sadly still own all the previous NHL games for if I ever wanted to play it. Many of the free games that they're offering. I also never really jumped on the early access ploy because I work so much and I don't really have time to play things day of or morning of anymore. But for the person who has time to, I can see it being worth it. But ultimately, the catalog is small right now. I'm sure they will expand it.
If it was Take-Two, though, or Rockstar game, I'd probably have to do that.
It's it's going to be very difficult if everybody wants to do their own. That's why I kind of like that PlayStation has kind of their own PlayStation Plus, and Xbox has their games for gold. But I also understand where maybe the publishers, they want their own piece of the pie. So we have to kind of find that happy medium somewhere. Like how can publishers get the amount that they feel they're entitled to, but yet the consumers don't get screwed with having to subscribe to all these different services, because everybody will lose in that scenario.
Honestly, I mean, if you're looking to purchase one of these titles, like say you were interested in buying Battlefield 4, then yeah, maybe it's worth it to do this, because you're going to get it for probably cheaper than Battlefield 4 sold for right now, and then you get access to some more games for like at least a year. So it might be worth it to try that. I don't know. It's not that much of an investment, but yeah, I don't like the precedent. It's because they whore the crap out of their games with DLC and stuff, and so I don't know.
All right. Well, very curious to see what you guys think of this. I want to know if anybody actually signed up for the program, because this is available now, right? So you can actually sign up for it now?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I want to know if anybody's actually got in on this. So let us know in our chat room, live.vognetwork.com, or you can always email us, participate at orangeloungeradio.com. Moving on to another story that came out this week about a convention we've been talking an awful lot about, because Dark Soccer and I went a couple weeks ago, had a panel there. We were just talking about it with Jonas and Diego a little bit ago, but GamerX2, a little bit of fallout from that convention, unfortunately, that was a little bit of drama this week, but I have to mention it because it was kind of big news. NIS America reached out to founder Matt Kahn to basically say, sorry, but that pledge of $3,000 that we'd promised you for the con, we're not going to be able to give it to you. Through, I don't want to get too much into the details, because the epilogue to this is they worked their shit out. But it still was, it was pretty big deal, because Matt actually posted the email on his Twitter. Not everybody thought that was the most professional thing to do in the world, which in retrospect, it probably wasn't. But taking a step back at everything, I can see where Matt was probably incredibly frustrated, because I know he went into debt over this convention, and his group collectively. I don't want to just keep saying Matt, but his group collectively, they spent a lot of money on that con, and the hotel was not a cheap place, and they ended up, going into the hole because of this. So, and from what I understand, they tried to get a ton of corporate sponsorships, and some companies were really cool about it, like 2K, Ubisoft showed up, right, did their thing, EA went to the first year, right, very cool. But my understanding is some companies straight up laughed in their face when they tried to pitch GamerX to these companies. So I can understand where Matt probably gets really frustrated with, so I'm going in debt over this, and these companies don't even take it seriously, and now I'm just going to get screwed out of $3,000. So probably that whole posting it on Twitter and shit was just out of frustration. I hit my breaking point, right? So obviously, in retrospect, he realized that was a bad thing to do. NIS America realized that maybe the way they communicated that message, or how they even got to that point in the first place, probably wasn't a good thing, because the epilogue is NIS, they had a lunch meeting and worked their shit out. NIS is going to make good on their money. Everybody's hugging it out, and that's all good. An interesting thing that came of this, though, a very interesting,
okay, I mean, I don't know what the agreement was, if they were just going to give them money for the hell of it, or were they advertising their games at the con?
They were a sponsor, because I remember one of the drinks you could get was a Prinny Bomb, which is obviously a Disgaea reference.
Well, that's kind of messed up, though, if they have their stuff there, and then they're, by the way, we'll take the free advertisement.
I thought it was weird they didn't have to pay up front, but you know what? I've never organized a con, so I don't know how these agreements work, and maybe it's just one of those things where it was we can give you the money on XYZ day.
Usually it is up front, because I know a lot of co-op stuff, especially when you're doing events and stuff, you get the money up front.
If you get companies straight up laughing you out the door, and then this company says, we can get you the money on this day if you'll put us in advance, probably didn't want to turn that down. And it's I kind of get it. Maybe, of course, in retrospect, of course, everything sounds boy, I shouldn't have done that. But I mean, in the moment, if you're desperate, con or no con, or I'm going to go into debt, you probably agreed to it. Again, but I didn't make that deal. I wasn't there, so I don't want to make it up, so it is what it is. But here's the interesting side effect that happened. So in that 24-hour period between they sent the letter to Matt posted on Twitter, and they hug it out. There's obviously that period of, what the fuck NIS and all this stuff, right? Devolver Digital sent out a tweet, which is interesting because Devolver Digital, don't remember seeing them at GamerX 1 or 2, but it's very cool. I'm not shading them or anything. It's just very interesting that now Devolver Digital literally comes out of nowhere and says, we pledged $3,000, the amount that NIS was supposedly failed to pay. We pledged $3,000 for a 2015 GamerX sponsorship and challenge other game companies that have the means to do so the same. 4 other indie developers stepped up and said, we'll do it. And I don't have the list in front of me, but I think the makers of Thomas Was Alone was one of them. So there's a few others. So because of this unfortunate situation, even though they've said we're not going to do a Gamer X3, we've gone into debt, now they've already raised $15,000 without essentially having to do anything. Weird, right? You guys haven't heard of this at all, huh?
No, this is news to us right now. Actually.
Yeah, so, well, that's we usually don't deliver news on this show, but there you go. But yeah, but weird how that worked out, right? So now it's like maybe Gamer X3 will happen after all, because all of a sudden these people are literally coming out from behind the curtain saying, you know what? This is a great con that you guys are doing.
And it's true. Like, we were getting feedback from that as well. They said a lot of people were feeling kind of sad because they felt like, oh, it's dying and it's not coming back. And he said there must be a way to revive this. There must be a way for it to go on. And as you were talking about the drama and so forth, about what was going on, people getting screwed over and sponsorships and stuff. And Jonas was relaying this to me, to also kind of telling me to like keep it to myself at the time, but to show that it looks like they really just got screwed over and just fucked either way because of all the things all the people who promised certain things and were back down. I said in my mind, I can see why they can't do this again another year out of all these problems. But knowing this now, it just feels like the name itself needs to go on.
Right. Well, ironically, they might change that. And they've talked about how they probably aren't going to call it GamerX next time. They're probably going to call it something else. And there have been tweets going out from the GamerX account this week like, so what if we moved it out of San Francisco? What would you guys think? Which I think a lot of people are like, yes, move it out of San Francisco. It's too fucking expensive there. Move it. I think a lot of people are saying that. But then they're also saying, what should we call it? Because I think they want to get away from being a gay expo where they want it to be really about the.
They should move to Sacramento so I can go, and because I can't.
A lot of people drove from Sacramento. I was shocked at how many people from Sac were at that con.
I'm just saying,
we were there,
right. The Teabaggers were there.
Yeah.
So.
I need to go to Sac Anime because I haven't gone since was that the Radisson or
But
that sounds about right. Yeah.
I suggested San Jose or anywhere along that line between anywhere in the Bay there between down the 101 or the 280 between near SFO Airport even or somewhere is going to be cheaper than in the city.
And let me butt in a little bit. Maybe it'd be possible. Maybe for like an area like San Mateo, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure who are all part of the Gamer X know about YahwehCon as well, which has some of the members of the LGBT community actually being there too.
Right.
So it's just a suggestion of San Mateo being made possibly cheaper compared to like San Jose, which could be extremely expensive as well.
So I'm thinking they're going to move it if they do it in another year, and they're probably going to put the feelers out there like, okay, what can $15,000 get us, and how much, so it might happen. So it'd be interesting, but then it's going to probably have a new name. They also were tweeting, what should the new name be? And this is funny because I tweeted back and I said, why don't you just call it? Because the thing is Everybody Games, right? So call it Everybody Games Expo. I think that'd be a great name, right? EGX. I said, there you go. There's your name. Well, here's the hilarious thing. I got a tweet just randomly, I guess somebody that was searching names or whatever. So somebody that represents Eurogamer Expo tweeted me saying, hey, we really want to see this happen, but please don't take our name. And I was like, oh, fuck, that's right. Eurogamer Expo's EGX. Whoops. But still, they can massage that idea or whatever they come up with.
EVGX or whatever.
Yeah, or EGE or something. Anyway, who doesn't want to... they could do EDGE. Everybody wants to edge. All right, what?
How about Everybody Expo, EVE, Eve?
Eve. Ooh, Everybody Expo.
That sounds
EVE.
really
And you're gonna get sued by the folks that do Eve Online because
Oh, guy, here we go.
There's
All
always a
right.
split end somewhere. It just feels like
How
there's
about
always
just
something.
call it No Name Con? That's it. No Name Con. That's it.
Redacted.
How about DashCon? Does anybody use that? All right.
I vote for redacted.
Why don't they just call it Donkey Kong?
There you go. But I'm see none of these names, unfortunately, give that whole like, oh, this is an everybody open type of con. I don't know. Anyway, so
Inclusicon.
Overshare con.
Registration con.
Gay rave con.
All right, everybody, fart con. Be quiet. All right.
The chat room was still going on that, by the way.
I know. That's why I said that. Anyway, so look, in all seriousness, I best of luck to, I'm glad they resolved their shit within 24 hours of the NAS America, and it's really weird how, despite the unprofessionalism of NAS America and then the unprofessionalism of GamerX and posting that out there, that yet something good came out of that, possibly, like really fucking good came out of that, possibly. I'm very interested to see what develops.
Can't they just call it con? No?
Be quiet. All right. Anyhow, Akuma JP says Donkey Kong only for the hung.
Wow.
Stop it.
There you go. He's going on the right route, I think.
Brad says call it VogCon. Why not?
VogCon.
If I had $3,000 to contribute to, I would love to. But I bought VIP tickets. All right, I contributed a little more money than the average bear.
Here's a question, though. I know we said about $15,000. What about the potential Kickstarter of what they were using like in the past? Wouldn't that be additional revenue to?
That's a decision for somebody else to make. I mean, but believe me, they're considering all this shit, I'm sure. Yeah. So.
I do agree on the fact that you said about it should leave San Francisco because it is expensive there.
Yeah.
But not straight away too far, but still like
somewhere on the BART line.
Right.
Then the San Francisco people can still go,
right, like Jonas said about maybe San Mateo, because as we've seen the Yaoi cons move around throughout the time, because we staffed there as well.
Yeah.
It still kept it in a good spot in the Bay Area that was not too far away from San Francisco. You're right, keep it through the BART lines.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that changed as well. And even though it'll probably go under a new ownership or whatever or whatnot, that to the point that it doesn't change too drastically to the point where it's completely changed itself in like inner-wise. Besides maybe the name and such forth, like you were saying, that some fans want to see it a bit the same way as it was before, but not an entirely drastic change.
Right.
But I'm just saying, as an opinion, as a fan, that they might see that maybe it changed too much or so forth. I don't know. Well,
they've got a lot of really tough decisions to make really fast, just when they thought they were getting a break from con planning. But I guess an unfortunate side effect of being really popular and well-liked in the community. So there you go. All right. Well, anyhow, we got more news to get to, so let's keep moving. Pina Colada, really?
At least it's better than FartCon.
It feels like they're going off that YouTube video. What was it? Oh yeah, the what was it? The
Power Thirst.
Sorry, we can't hear Jonas because he's not
The
mic'd.
power Thirst.
I talked about
Was
the
that
gay
it?
Power Thirst where they said penis colada.
Yeah, there you go. There's so much references in there.
Don't forget my favorite flavor. Gun.
New topic. Dark
Okay.
Sakura.
I say brown icon or something. All right, I'll just stop right there. Yeah, I'll just stop right there.
Do you
Stop.
like pina coladas? Anyway.
Amounts of
EA's
gaming.
doing some crap. How's that for news? EA is fucking up. No, I'm kidding. They actually are shutting down Ultima Forever. It will be closed down by the end of August. It was the spiritual successor to Ultima 4. It was a mobile title, had the stupid transaction crap going on. They're shutting it down on August 29th.
I was going to say, can we sue them for false advertisement?
Womp womp. It's not really forever.
I have a great respect for the Ultima series. Like, I loved it on the NES and in the Commodore days and the old computers and so forth. And all that being said, good fucking riddance to this trash because that game was awful. So,
Well, they also shut down Lord of Ultima.
well, the Ultima did not translate well to mobile at all, and that I don't think that was Ultima's fault as much as it was the fault of the game design behind it and what EA was doing with their mobile games because they've done it in other games that haven't done well.
Fifth Dream.
What?
Con.
Stop it.
And Act Jeff
You guys aren't even being
said what I was
serious.
thinking. Ultima not forever.
Yeah, Ultima not
For the
forever.
record, Fifth Dream, Decepticon, I do believe already exists
There is a Decepticon, yeah.
Of course, there's also BotCon and the other major Transformers conventions.
All right, moving on. Loki.
Do they have like conjugate as a con? Like a grammar con? Anyways,
I'd go.
yeah, Nintendo, unfortunately, has posted $97 million as a loss for the last quarter. Fortunately, Mario Kart 8, it did great, but it just wasn't enough. And they had a great attachment rate. I guess they're saying almost 3 million units were shipped by the end of June. And, definitely people are buying the title. It's just, what else did they have come out? I mean, not a lot else. I mean, it just wasn't enough. Of course, probably should be a little bit better through the fourth quarter. I know they've got like a lot more games expected out, and hopefully that sells more units. Smash Brothers should help.
Definitely, that's a name that will go on. Hopefully,
but I mean, I understand that it's just the average mom and pop consumer. I don't know.
No, but their kids will.
They need. It would really help the Wii or the Wii U or both.
Zelda.
Well, Zelda, yes, but a legitimate Pokemon game on the Wii.
I'm really surprised they haven't gone there.
It's probably because they haven't figured out how to be able to transfer data between the 3DS and the Wii U.
It can't be that hard. It can't be that hard. Do it through Nintendo Network.
Just like online or DLC, it can't be that hard. But yet, for some reason, it escapes
they have that
them.
fucking cloud thing that people are paying for the Pokemon.
Because I remember
now.
they tried that with Pokemon Revolution, and then that didn't go so well.
But the problem is right now is because don't they not have their accounts are tied to? They're not tied to your Nintendo account. It's tied to your console, isn't it?
No, is it?
So I think that's why they don't have a unified, eShop account or anything.
I feel
right
like
now.
I've seen if the Wii can beam demos to your 3DS, then this technology cannot be that difficult for the DS. I mean, they both have Bluetooth stuff in them, right? That they could transmit data. It can't be that hard. I mean, I realize this is Nintendo, but it really can't be that hard. Look, Mario Kart 8 kind of made us go, oh, Nintendo really can do this shit. Wow.
They probably already do. They're just too afraid to actually test it out. It might flop.
They can't. Well, that could be the other thing, too. They can't afford to have a flop Pokemon
Actually,
game.
wait. The realization is completely obvious, and I can't believe I didn't even think about it. You know why they haven't put a Pokemon game on the Wii U? It's because they haven't manufactured the fucking amiibo characters that are going to go along with it. That is why they haven't put a Pokemon game on the Wii U. Because they're going to fucking whore the shit out of that. You think Activision whores Skylanders and Disney Infinity whores those characters. Oh, you have not seen anything yet. You have not seen anything yet. The fans, of those series. I mean, Skylanders. No one who knows who the fuck the Skylanders are. I mean, kids. I'm surprised that they attach themselves to like these brand new characters, but Pokemon characters. All ages are going to eat that shit up because you got to collect them all. I mean, and they're going to buy all of them.
All right, well, here's Kaijudo in chat. The reason why we don't have Pokemon on the Wii U is because the game is made for handheld. That's why it's called Pocket Monsters. It's a handheld game, not a console. I like it where it is. I understand that, but money talks. You know what I mean? Like, gee, the Pokemon stepped into a growth machine, and now it's Pokemon in giant
It's
world.
called Pocket Monsters because they collect them in Pokeballs, which fit in your fucking pocket. Done.
Yeah, I'm like, where there's a check, there's a way. You know what I mean? They'll figure out a way to retcon it in the story. I do appreciate the viewpoint, though. That's how Pokemon was certainly born. But if Nintendo really needs the money and needs to do it, they could.
That's how they'll transfer data back and forth, too, is because they're going to have, remember, the Amiibo support for 3DS at some point, and that's how it's going to work. They will have a game that comes out on 3DS and on Wii U, and it'll transfer data back and forth, just like that they do with the 3DS versions right now and the DS versions and all that fun stuff.
All right. Let's move on. Dark Sakura.
Oh, that's right. Well, how about something about Killer Instinct? Well, there was some discussion. Killer Instinct is going to be having a retail release. This is the Double Helix version, by the way, not the really awesome very first game, as we remember KI Gold from the N64. They have this one that I have yet to touch. But Microsoft basically has put out the announcement that on September 23rd, Killer Instinct will be available out to purchase a retail version. And it will come with the first season and the Season 2 TJ Combo code for $19.99, which is a little bit better than the Combo Breaker pack. So there you go.
So this would be good for people that maybe don't get online all the time with their system to be able to get the game, I guess. That's what
Probably.
this is for, yeah. Makes sense.
I mean, I think that maybe the online only thing didn't quite work out well for them.
Is it also coming out holiday?
September.
September 23rd.
Close enough. That might be the reason, is so it can be something that shows up under the Christmas tree or Hanukkah bush or whatever it is.
Hanukkah bush. Probably. I mean, that's still way, way early, even for Hanukkah and for Christmas. This is basically like an afterthought, I think. We didn't get enough money out of this. Let's put it out for the people who didn't want to do online purchases.
All right. Well, let's talk about something that's coming a little bit sooner than September 23rd. How about this week in retail? Loki, starting off with the U.S. release dates.
Really, only 2 games this week. Sacred 3 on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and Ultra Street Fighter 4 on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. The disc version, of course, because you could have purchased the download a while ago.
So we're just in a drought until Labor Day, pretty much, right? And like Destiny.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I guess it'll be a little while, and it's going to be... This is your time to catch up, people. That's what this is. Well, if you're in Japan, things are a little more exciting on the PlayStation 3 this week anyway. Over in Japan, Lost Dimension, Shin Hayarigami comes out this week as well, and Ultra Street Fighter 4 gets its Japanese release this week. So there's that to look forward to. On the Xbox 360, you can get Ultra Street Fighter 4, should you actually be in Japan and have an Xbox 360, for the dozens of you out there with one.
And then are you a unicorn?
And on the Wii U, Dragon Quest X, the all-in-one package comes out this week, because over in Japan, they actually got Dragon Quest X on the Wii U, whereas here, we're still waiting. Although, I thought I heard something that's going to be a 3DS thing. Did we touch on that? I thought I heard somewhere around that it is going to make its way over here at some point, which is exciting. On the PlayStation Vita this week in Japan, Lost Dimension and Shin Hayarigami, which were also out on PS3, are also out on Vita. So that's pretty cool. Some more stuff on the Vita. And lastly, on the 3DS, Dragon Ball Heroes Ultimate Mission 2, Farming Simulator 14 Pocket Noen 2, Senran Kagura 2 Shinku comes out on 3DS, and Bravely Default for the sequel goes into the Ultimate Hits edition. Keep in mind, Bravely Default for the sequel is actually what we got over here as simply Bravely Default, because I think Bravely Default for the sequel was an enhanced version of the original game that they had out in Japan. So it's not like an actual sequel or anything like that. Not yet anyway, but I believe one is coming really soon in Japan, like this year. So there you go. Japanese release dates. How about the UK, Dark Sakura?
Only 2 things. Well, sorry, 3 things. On August 6th is Metrico for Vita and Road Not Taken for PlayStation 4. And on the 8th, Ultra Street Fighter 4.
Akuma JP clarifying the Dragon Quest X question. Akuma JP says next month Dragon Quest X free on new 3DS purchase, and since he's in Japan, that must be how they're pushing it forward over there. That's pretty cool. I hope it makes its way over here because I'd like to check it out. All right, just a couple more stories for you guys, and then the classic game of the week. But first, Loki.
All right. So this is kind of ridiculous, but apparently the brand new game that was done by was it the guys that did Black Forest Games? They did the Jonas Sisters, I don't know, remake, sequel, whatever you want to call that. They had a brand new game called Diesel Stormers, and it was a kind of a diesel punk action game. They got a trademark, or their trademark blocked because apparently Diesel, the fashion brand, had a problem with it. They were saying that it's going to cause confusion. So I don't know. It seems like there's no case. They said, in all probability, an understanding will be reached as Black Forest has no intent to create clothing under the Diesel Stormers brand, and the diesel part of Diesel Stormers refers to the liquid fuel of the same name and not a parody of the fashion brand. So, yeah, it's a little ridiculous, but you gotta love that trademark law and copyright law. I guess you got to defend it in order to keep it. But
I guess that's
it's
true.
It's a little ridiculous, though.
Do they sue gas stations too?
I don't know. But seriously, that's
What
a
about
little
that Vin guy?
ridiculous.
Right?
Yeah.
How about that guy? You can't make movies with their.
Oh no, they settled with him out of court.
But like, I completely forgot Diesel was even a fashion brand, until they, mentioned this lawsuit. But
They're just tired of not being relevant anymore.
I only know because I might have underwear that says Diesel on it. So,
and clearly that's because of the liquid
Burn it,
fuel,
Rob.
right?
yeah,
Burn it in protest.
I'm a big fan of the game. What
Rob.
can I say?
Rob,
I'm very committed. What?
If you put diesel fuel on your underwear, you'd have underwearception, dieselception.
You've got problems.
You hang out with me,
But how much longer? I'm just kidding.
bitch, please.
You should have seen the way her face changed when I said that. All right. The chat room's going with you. Fifth Dream says, I'm confused. Is this about Vin Diesel? Tiger Claw says, is Diesel even a real last name?
Someone went to Kevin Nash as well. Kevin Nash used to go by Diesel.
Big Daddy Diesel.
Dungeon Buster says, good
Minus
grief.
the quad.
Good grief, another marketplace confusion lawsuit. It's fine. Look, one is underwear, one is a game. It's very, very different. I don't understand.
And all three of them are flammable.
It's seriously, it's like,
Especially when being worn by me.
it's seriously just like,
Did you say that your panties get set on fire?
Was it Monster Cables and I want to say Monster Cables and Monster Energy? They go around and sue everybody.
Oh
that's
yeah.
For
Because they sued the Monster Golf Place in Folsom,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Well, the chain, yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy! All right, one more story for you guys here, and for part A, and this is about the credit card that you may have heard about this week at available at Evil G, which of course is the our loving name for the GameStop retail chain. And I'm going to be honest, this news came out, and I was actually more surprised that this wasn't already a thing, because GameStop is going to be bringing out their own credit card. So a GameStop credit card is going to come out in the next few months, and this will be something that their employees can push for incentives, I'm sure, along with pre-orders. If you sign up, you will get 5,000 power-up points if you're a power-up basic member, and if you're a pro member, you get 15,000 power-up points, and you're already pre-approved if you're a member, I guess, which seems weird because some people have some really shitty credit. I don't know. But anyway, the interest rate is a low 26.99% APR.
Sounds like my student loan.
That means for every $100, it gets $27 in interest a year.
Yeah.
And, of course, they calculate that by the day. But anyway, most credit cards, for reference, 13 to 15%. So, yeah, there you go. You can get some points if you spend money with your GameStop card. I'm going to be honest, though, as like crap as this whole situation sounds and everything, there's also a part of me that goes, well, every retail
Everybody
chain
does it.
has a fucking card. Sears has a card.
Yeah, but
Fry's has a card.
the rate on on our Sears card is something like 4%.
Yeah. Well, I'll full disclosure, I have a Sears card, but the reason why I have one is because they had a good deal where when we bought the washer and dryer, you don't have to pay any interest at all as long as you pay it off within like 18 months or something like that. So
we got ours like
that.
a long time ago when we got Dan's Power Tools. Power Tools.
And I'd imagine, like, if you just pay off your, if you make your payment every month, like pay it off in full every month, then you can earn points or whatever, I guess. And that,
if you're good with credit. But here's the thing. That's the only kind of shady thing I see here is that GameStop, what do they kind of tend to cater to? The younger folks, right in that 18 to 23
Who
area.
have poor impulse control and no sense of responsibility.
Who are most likely to fuck up their credit. And I'm sure many of you that listen to the show fall into this age bracket. Just, make smart decisions with the credit. If you're going to get something like this, you really do have to pay it off, because that shit will haunt you for a long, long time if you don't. So just words of advice from your pals at OLR. So
shop responsibly.
That's right. Don't remember, that's $27 for every 100 you spend. That's like 1.5 games a year if you don't pay it off.
Yeah, worse if someone buys a console. I'm going to buy a PS4 and
Right.
an Xbox One.
No, and keep in mind that's going to be added on monthly. So whether even if you pay it off 3 months later, you're still paying them some money. So
I think the question will be here, big thing here. And Bobby Blackwolf adding to this conversation, I have a Best Buy credit card, but all my purchases are zero if I pay off by certain dates, like a similar thing. So another retail chain with one. SSG 100 Matt says the sick thing is that the suckers that they're going to heavily pressure people into getting these cards don't really know how bad 27% APR is. That's what I kind of want to wait and see. I want to see how GameStop pushes this. Are they going to be preying on the week, essentially? Like,
And
I
what
hate to
the
put it
fuck
that
do
way,
the
but that's-
power up rewards points get me? What the hell is that?
Discounts, free games, magazines. I don't know I don't shop at GameStop. I literally don't know. Anyone shop at GameStop?
You have shopped at GameStop with me there to watch.
My assumption is used game credit or deals and things like that.
For the record, they usually have really good deals on their used 3DS games, so I've gone. But I think, you know what? I think if we really, really are against these policies that companies are doing, we really should just say, okay, we're not going to be a part of it anymore at all. Not even if they have good sales, not even if it's, we happen to be there or they're the only ones who are carrying a game. If you're going to stand against something, then including their little credit thing, then tell them with your money.
So here's something else that's kind of interesting that came out about GameStop this week on a completely different note, but something to think about when you're going to be doing business with them is obviously GameStop, huge in the business of buying back your games and reselling, right, and all that stuff. So in some areas, it should be noted that video game trade-ins like the ones at GameStop are treated like pawn shops with the pawn shop laws. And pawn shops in some areas, one of them being Philadelphia, have to scan fingerprints. So there's a Philadelphia GameStop out there that is now scanning fingerprints that started about a month ago. Because that way, if they find the fingerprints on stolen goods, then they know they can kind of trace it and all that stuff, right? That's the thought behind it, whatever. But here's the interesting thing: those scans. So when you get your finger scanned, that goes into a Leads Online database, which is quote the nation's largest online investigation system to recover stolen property, help stop meth makers, reduce metal theft, and solve crimes.
I don't really have a problem with that.
It's not anything new. They do that at my GameStop nearby. Back when I was trading stuff in, they do that because they do have theft in the area, and so they want to make sure that people aren't turning in stolen goods.
Well, just if you're one of those people that the NSA is watching you masturbate and all that stuff, then just throwing it out there, your fingerprints. When you
have a driver's license, your fingerprints are already in the fucking system. It doesn't matter.
But now they'll know when I sell back One Chambara, they'll know that I was playing that.
You'll get a call from D3. Why didn't you like that game? What the fuck? We worked hard on that. We're going to have to fire employees because you didn't like that game.
The boobs weren't big enough, unfortunately, for me.
Honestly, putting the tinfoil hat aside, seriously, I think it's a good idea. When Dan was a manager, he would talk about all of these people that would just come into the store who were clearly not all there.
So,
clearly had stolen items. That's why they don't take games back if they've still got shrink wrapping on them and all of that. That doesn't go far enough. They just learn, okay, I got to rip this shrink wrap off.
So, power up rewards. Basically, you earn points, you can get crap. And so, for example, some of the things you can get for 6,200 points, you can get Boba Fett necklace. Oddly enough, there's a ton of fucking Star Wars shit on here, and I'm not sure why.
So if I sign up for my 28% APR credit card, I can get a Boba Fett necklace?
You can get for 29,500 points, you can get Boba Fett candy bowl holder.
I just want to throw
It's all
out
about
there.
Boba Fett.
I just want to throw, at least it's not Jar Jar Binks, right? I just want to throw out there's other credit cards that will give you a flight to Hawaii if you sign up for their credit card.
Do they also include a Boba Fett necklace?
They do not. So you have a tough decision to make. Do you want Hawaii or a necklace?
6,000 points, 25% off a pre-owned handheld game. Mind you, you get 10% off anyways with your Power Up Rewards card as it is. 12,490 points, a Millennium Falcon model. Yeah, I don't understand why all this shit's Star Wars stuff, but I think that's just an example.
I'm surprised it's not the Slave One. I thought we were still on Boba Fett.
Yeah.
It felt like a line of Boba Fett.
You can get
toys.
Stormtrooper earrings for 7,940 points. So, yes, quality stuff. Or a plastic Stein for 7,200 points.
Did
yes.
you say Stormtrooper earrings?
Stormtrooper earrings.
What in the world?
Yeah.
All right.
It's like these are not the earrings you're looking for.
Star Wars Episode 1, The GameStop Menace.
All right. Look, we're going to take a trip to when, it wasn't so. You know what? The rewards program that you got points for was the Nintendo Fun Club, and that was it. We're going to go back to a classic time in gaming's history. It's Dark Soccer's going to step into the gaming vault and find a game that she thinks, hey, you little brats,
I dusted the vault today.
trade in your games, send the money to me, and then go play this. And I'm going to go eat tacos. Dark Sakura, what's the classic game of the week?
Milan's Secret Castle, or as it was known in Japan, Meikyu Kumikyoku Miron no Daiboken.
What?
The Maze Suite, Milan's Great Adventure. It was Miron. So it was an action-adventure game that came out by Hudson for Nintendo. Actually, it was originally on Famicom on November 13th, 86, and came out in the U.S. in September 1988. So the protagonist, as we all said Milan here, but it was Miron, lives in the land called Hudson, where people use music to communicate.
Are there bees there?
I know, right?
There were honeycombs. I do remember that.
Yes. Anyway, he was the only one who didn't have the ability to communicate and wondered why. So he goes out to travel throughout the land to the land of Hudson to find other people who were like himself. But he stops to go to visit Queen Eliza, who lives in Castle Garland, which was also Hudson's secret castle. And then he found it was being attacked and shenanigans ensue. So basically you run and jump and shoot bubbles. And you start off on the bottom floor of a 4-story castle, and you have to work your way upwards. You've got 3 main stories, the well, 2 side towers, and the very top. If you stay outside the castle too long, lightning bolts fall out of the sky. There are also enemies, hidden items, the bubbles.
Don't stay outside or God is going to kick your ass.
Lord.
Yes, the Lord is going to send lightning bolts down.
The bubbles are also not just a tool, they are a weapon. You get weapon throwing bubbles, and you can throw them at blocks to cause them to break. So, there's hidden items, but there are also additional routes, hidden shops, different items you can find that way. You also can destroy demons that inhabit certain rooms, but they do come back to life after a while. You've got different bosses that are larger, basically bigger demons, and you have to use bubbles to spit at them. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Bubble Bobble. They attack by jumping back and forth and throw fireballs at you. And then when they die, they release a crystal ball, like in Castlevania. And then Milan gets big ol' bubbles, and he can fly them out faster. So you have only 1 life. When you lose your life, your game is over and you must start over. But if you hold left on the control pad while pressing start at the title screen, you can pick up where you left off. It does not work before collecting the first crystal. And this this instruction was only in the Japanese manual. So folks in America had to figure that shit out for ourselves. Or import.
Or if you signed up for their credit card, they'd tell you.
So it's a really freaking difficult game. I mean, it's fun, don't get me wrong. It's just really difficult. It's got some interesting tidbits to it. So like I said, there's the left and start to start from where you left off. Milan actually doesn't become invincible after he's attacked. When he's hit that blinking animation. But each room in the castle has the honeycomb that restores your life. And extends it by 1 unit. So that was the honeycomb you're talking about, Rob. Okay. It also is a little unorthodox in the way that other 2D platformers can be. The rooms can be accessed in any order. And they don't really go in one direction. In each room, there's only the one exit that's at a fixed spot, but it doesn't appear until you fire a bubble where it's hidden. And then navigating each of the rooms, like I said, it's free-flowing. It goes around in different directions. You can explore it however you want to. Plus, it also has a side quest of finding music boxes. If you touch a music box, you go to a mini game where you attempt to pick up as many musical notes as possible, with extra points for sharps and negative points for flats. And basically, each time you collect a music box, you get an elf with a different instrument each time, and the song gets more and more elaborate that they play in the background.
That's right. This might surprise you, Dark Sakura. I own this game, actually.
It doesn't surprise me.
I had this game. This is one of the few NES games I had. This is probably one of the first games I actually had on the Nintendo Entertainment System. And I remember that. But this game was no joke. This game was hard as hell.
Well,
I couldn't even really get past just the first couple rooms.
Well, GameSpot gave this game a really bad review for its control, saying that, and this is a quote from Frank Provo of GameSpot, that Mylan runs like his feet are greased, his jumps are easily interrupted by nearby blocks that are adjacent or directly above him. Well, he gave it a 2 out of 10.
The one thing I didn't really care for about it is that most of the shit in it is hidden. To progress in the game, you have to find all this hidden stuff. Which, when you're younger, you don't want to be looking for.
Ain't no one got time for that shit.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Anyway, there was a Game Boy version that came out. There was also in 1993, there was Mira no Meikyu Kumikyoku. That's almost a tongue. Which was just called Mylan's Maze Suite. And it did come out in the U.S. as well. There were a lot of differences. The Game Boy version had smaller rooms. It had less stuff. And then you had different money between the different versions. There was also a sequel that came out for the Super Famicom, which was only out in Japan, called Doremi Fantasy Mira no Doki Doki Daiboken.
Wow.
Yep.
Long name.
And there were also other sequels that were all Satellaview games. There was a BS Doremi number 2, BS Doremi Oku no Original Sound Witch, Blue Sword Witch, and BS Doremi Oku no Original Sound Witch, Power Sound Witch. So there were also cameos by Mylan or Miran in the Sega Saturn Bomberman and in Star Soldier, where there are Mylan tiles to be discovered. And then there's a puzzle game that came out on the DS called Mira no Hoshizora Shabon Puzzle Kumikyoku. And then, there were also, though, it did, on the Japanese Hudson channel for PS2 and the Wii's Virtual Console, there was a re-release of this, and there's also a Nintendo 3DS Virtual Console one as well. Came out October of 2013. And actually, it did come out in the PAL region as well. So there you go.
There it is, your classic game of the week. The hard as hell and hard to control, but still relatively unique.
I'm going to eventually say Kumikyoku properly. Kumikyoku.
Mylan's Secret Castle, or Milan's Secret Castle.
Meikyu Kumikyoku Mira no Daiboken.
Oh, God, we're seeing it in the YouTube right now. That's that boss. I never could get past this guy. He was too hard.
I
think I beat him one time.
Is this a speed run or a full play?
I think it's a full play, because the guy was stuck in that one room for forever.
What is that, a giant dragon?
It looks like Kraid from Metroid.
I thought, doesn't he look like, it looks like a winged hyena.
It looks like his feet are going to tickle you. It's like tickle, tickle, tickle.
Looks like
He kind of looks like a winged hyena.
Yeah, but
It looks like Bowser.
It looks like every room is the same. I can't tell. It's red.
it might be. Well, that's the outside of the castle. Now he's. Oh God, I remember this room where he flew through the little.
Now I feel like he's playing Metroids in a way. I don't know why.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, sorry.
This is Bionic Commando.
Horrible radio while we're talking about a video
And
here.
Blinder, yes, it was Doremi.
All right, there it is, your classic game of the week. Hey, guys, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere.
Doremi.
Fa sol la ti do?
It was explaining.
A deer, a female deer?
Oh, fuck, Rob.
All right, anyway. Don't go anywhere, guys. We've got plenty more Orange Lounge Radio to come. Your answers to the Fugle question of the week, mailbag, phone calls, and is Jonas going to be here for the FUs of the week? I cannot wait. So we'll be back with plenty more Orange Lounge Radio right after this. Welcome back, everybody, to Orange Lounge Radio live on this August the 3rd of 2014 with the 562nd episode of our show already in progress. Joining us in the studio tonight, Jonas and Diego from the Teabaggers, which that actually means the Big Anime Game Room.
There you go. Either way, it sounds great.
But have you guys got? I guess your website is tabgr.org.
TBG.
Sorry, TB. You know what? Acronyms. I can't do it. Teabaggers.
TBAGR.
Okay, there you go. The Big Anime Game Room. So it's
that
.org. So somebody in our chat said Teabagger org.
Right. They're really just.
There it is. All right. Yeah, I got nothing. All right, there it is.
Teabagger orgy. Wow.
All right.
I'm going to remember that one. That was pretty good.
All right. That could. There you go. For
that's
Gamer
what it
X3.
became there. Oh, wait.
All right.
That's what we're saving for friends.
We got some rapid fire news to get to. Your emails, the Fugle question of the week, all coming up here. So let's get into some news, some quick news. Loki.
All right. So PlayStation Now, we kind of talked a little bit about it when we were talking about EA's thing. But PlayStation Now is now in beta, open public beta, I guess. And they've got a bunch of different plans available, I guess, and one of those they're talking about something in the works is actually a subscription plan that would maybe be all-inclusive. Although, to be honest, based on how expensive things are now, I would be curious to see how much that would actually cost. Because right now, what they have it set up, and it doesn't really make any sense to me, they've got 4 different options. You can either rent a title for 4 hours, 7 days, 30 days, or 90 days. So, for example, Darksiders, $3 for 4 hours, $6 for a week, $8 for 30 days, or $15 for 90 days, which that's almost the price of the game itself. In fact, there's even some games I want to say that were like $49.99 for like 90 days. It's like, shit, just buy it either digitally or buy it used or something. I mean, at that point, what's the point in renting it for that much time when you can just buy it for cheaper? They're saying the pricing structure right now, of course, has been a major contention for a lot of people, and there will be reduced pricing on some 4-hour rentals. Oh, thank you. That's so generous. Also, they're saying that they recommend that you have a 5 megabit connection in order to be able to utilize the service, and it's going to be coming to, right now, I think, it's open to PlayStation 4 owners in U.S. and Canada, but later on it'll be available for PlayStation 3 Vita and certain models of Sony TVs. I got to be honest, for this thing to be utilized a little bit more, it's going to have to be a hell of a lot cheaper than it is right now, because that's just ridiculous. $3 for 4 hours? Fuck that. Just go buy the game or go rent it, somewhere else.
Bobby in chat loves to be devil's advocate, so here he goes. Devil's advocate, yes, but can I buy Darksiders for $15 and play it on my PlayStation 4?
True, you can't do that. But is really that kind of, a premium price worth it for playing an old game like that?
I would argue no. I mean, it's just if you wouldn't pay that much to bring it out of a red box, then why? I mean, the streaming thing works well.
Okay,
great.
I'll play your devil's advocacy right there. Brand new Darksiders collection that's going to be coming out, I want to say is, I think, $29.99, and that should be coming out in a couple weeks. On PlayStation 3, it's got the first 2 games and all the DLC,
but not the PlayStation 4.
Who gives a fuck? You're not buying the PlayStation 4 to play the original Darksiders game.
Yeah, if you want to play PS3 games, buy a PS3. I
think it would have been nice, like, say, for example, I owned Darksiders on PlayStation 3 because I bought it digitally or something like that. Say I was dumb enough to do that. That I should be able to play that streaming for free.
I actually deeply agree with that because it gives digital enhanced value because you lose the equity of owning the physical copy of the game that you could go to GameStop and give your, fingerprint and urine sample in order to turn the game in for money.
Yeah.
So, you lose that ability when you buy something digitally, but that would be a perk, like, oh, buy this game digitally, and you get your cross buy of being able to have it on the PS3, the PS4, and the PS Vita, and all this stuff through the magic of PlayStation Now. Woo!
It just
something.
For me, it sounds like right now PlayStation Now is not going to be a service I'm going to utilize at all, and that's sad because it sounded like it had potential, but
Well, let's wait. I'm not ready to throw it all away yet because it will be very interesting to see what happens when they add the PS1 and the PS2 because it will have additional features, like the trophies at least, that weren't in the original. And it'll be I kind of hope that if they do the subscription service, they're doing it for the PS1 and 2 games. That's why we haven't seen it yet.
And I hope that when they add trophies, Nintendo will go, hey, we can add trophies to our game, or whatever their accomplishments, whatever they're going to call their bullshit.
Yeah. Coins. Stickers. Yeah, coins. Why not? Why not? Or power-ups.
Power-ups, yeah.
All right. What else, Loki?
Also, it's back. Flappy Bird is back. Because, you probably haven't been able to play any sort of Flappy Bird games for, the last few months. It's not like there's zillions of clones out there. But, yes, the official Flappy Bird is back on the Amazon Fire platform exclusively right now with Flappy Bird's Family. And Flappy Bird's Family, it's got some new multiplayer options. Right now, I think it's locked into now on the Amazon App Store for Android. It's not on iTunes or Google Play. And apparently, I think they have a version out for the Fire TV. I'm not sure about the Fire phone, but I just don't give a shit. I seriously don't give a shit about this game. Who cares? Oh, it's back. Guess what? Sorry that you're not going to be able to play, the Flappy Bird's Family right now because it's exclusive on Amazon. But guess what? There's going to be a zillion Flappy Bird's Family clones.
You know who cares? You know who cares? Kim Kardashian cares because some bird's about to steal her tiara.
Wait, isn't there like a Flappy Bird arcade game in Roseville Golfland? A redemption game?
Is there? Oh, why wouldn't that surprise me at all? I know they do Doodle Jump is one, and they do. I was just at Dave and Buster's yesterday, so I saw a lot of this crazy redemption shit. It's
Fruit
like
Ninja.
Fruit Ninja's one. Infinity Blade is like a game. I don't think it gives tickets though. I still like Feeding Frenzy. Maybe that's just because I actually win tickets when I play Feeding Frenzy. Anybody? It's all right. Anyway.
And then last but not least, they're going to have Paper Mario in Smash Brothers. But it will be a stage.
Diego perked up for a minute. What? I had heard this.
Yeah, sadly, it's going to be a stage because that would have been too cool, and they can't do that.
Yeah, me going there. I was like, Paper Mario is a playable character. Just revealed. No.
That'd be cool.
So,
My favorite stage will always be the Picto Chat stage, and I kind of hope they bring that back in one way or another. That'd be great.
Yeah. That was pretty creative. Everything's being drawn around you, and you can be inside the whale.
But it wasn't accurate because balls never showed up in the stage, and that's what people drew on Picto Chat was balls.
They should have.
Of course, they drew a lot of stuff when Picto Chat came. I remember when that first started up, I was like,
they should have a Meat Plaza stage or like a Wii Sports stage
or a Swap Note stage that just shuts down partway through. How about that? Joke? Anybody?
But in the meantime, you're fighting on cats.
Miss and No stage. Oh my god! He said Miss and No stage. Everything's just glitching. And you got like
a Pac-Man glitch stage.
Oh my goodness!
There you go. Why not? Pac-Man's in the game now.
We just need to have a game called Kill Screen.
We didn't.
Kill Screen?
I don't think it made it a show roll, but they also there's also Galaga assists now in the game. So
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I hope it plays the little song. Do 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 do. All right, some more news. Hey, remember Iwata missed E3 because he had had some medical issues and had some, I think he had surgery for a bile duct growth was what was going on. Well, the good news is Nintendo did put out a little update through a spokesperson, Yasuhiro Minagawa, who said that Iwata is recovering steadily. There's no interference with his business as president. So they're just a little update. He's doing fine. Also, an update on the Wii U front. Hyrule Warriors, another game that people are looking forward to this fall. Not just, the Smash Brothers or Captain Toad, but there's Hyrule Warriors as well. And Hyrule Warriors, sadly, will not have an online co-op mode because, it's Nintendo and it's online. But there will be local co-op because,
Loco.
It's going to get loco. You gonna drink some Four Loko and play Hyrule Warriors? Has this happened at one of your cons?
Not that I know of or anything.
the Hyrule Warriors tournament sponsored by Four Loko.
Wow, there you go. That's
Is
something.
that
to look
still
forward
around?
They had to change it. I think they had to take the caffeine out of it.
to. Right, because it was killing people.
Yeah, that's usually bad PR.
That's not a reason.
They found them with the cans latched to their hands. It's like, I think we found the cause of death.
So anyway, there will be local co-op, and there you go. But they will say there will be some other type of online play. The reason why this is relevant, Dynasty Warriors always had online play. And yet this is coming from the same people, yet, yeah, just throwing it out there. Hey, let's talk about Justice Beaver. That is the name of the game, Justice
Wow.
Beaver.
Yeah.
Order in the court. I don't know
Gee,
what.
that's totally not a spoof on Justin Bieber. No.
I hope Oranja Boom comes out and punches him in the face. That would be pretty awesome. Anyway, Justice Beaver
Justice Beaver, wow.
is a platformer game that's going to be coming out for the Wii U and the Super Nintendo. Yes, the Super Nintendo is because people want to make shit for old consoles, so why not? Collector Vision is the company putting this out. The Super Nintendo will be the flagship platform, and they're trying to get a Super Nintendo Virtual Console release on the Wii U eShop. That would be kind of awesome, actually, if they could actually get a Virtual Console release on the eShop, even though it's not really a classic game.
That game will be banned in Canada, I guess.
Well, Justice Beaver, would the Canadians not take likely to
I
that?
don't know. I'm saying like
They'd probably all laugh their ass off.
Probably, and then apologize for it.
And then the sequel, Justice Beaver Rush.
Hopefully that's the end of the game, is that Rush just, kills them all. Anyway, all right. There it is. That's what I've got. Dark Sakura.
Oh, yeah. Well, how about Little Big Planet 3? Pre-orders are ready to go. As soon as
You could probably pre-order Little Big Planet 4 if you want. GameStop's like, sure, I'll take your $5. Do you want to put that on your new GameStop card?
there you go.
That's how they sell the card. You want to guarantee that you get that DLC for
Well,
Destiny?
it looks like that if you do the order, you get a Sackboy plushie. And if you order one at Target, his comes with a Target hat. Ooh. And then the thing that interests me, a Dragon Age Inquisition costume pack. Because that's all I care about. No, there's also other costume packs. There's the Mythical Creatures one. There's Hidden Animals. There is a PlayStation's favorite costume pack that includes Journey, Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, Loco Roco, Ratchet and Clank, and Tearaway.
Many of which have already been out there already.
Yeah.
So, since Dark Sakura brought up a Little Big Planet plushie.
November 18th, by the way.
Thank you. Since Dark Sakura brought up the Little Big Planet Sackboy plushie,
Yeah.
can I borrow your outfit and go to FurCon?
If you want, it's really hot
Soul FurCon.
and dusty. There could be
I'll
there could
Febreze
be
it.
an infestation of black widows in there, and I don't even know.
I'll
on your
Febreze
face.
it. All right. I'll beat it out in the backyard with a bat.
We
to
don't
try and
want
scare
to
off
know
the black
about
widows.
you beating it in the backyard, Rob.
I knew, like, at the minute the words were coming out of my mouth, I was like, "Stop talking!"
Because
But I can't.
you know
Yes,
where
if you really want to borrow that dusty costume for
we'll get you some fumigation stuff, Rob.
I should take it to Dragon Con, but how am I going to get that on the plane?
Strap it to the top.
it is really large.
There-
It is really large.
It is really large. I'd have to take a whole nother thing.
Can I continue?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Your Highness. So Kmart has listed a game called Captain Toad Treasure Tracker for $39.99. Apparently, it was a mini game. I actually did not play this game. It was a mini game in Super Mario 3D World, but now it's going to be its own game according to Kmart listings. So who knows if this is real because it's Kmart.
The game is real. They talked about it at E3.
Yeah,
it's the price. The price we didn't know because that's lower. That's lower than most games.
It is. Yeah, I mean, it's lower. I could see them doing that because I don't think it's going to be that popular. It is a legit listing because I can see right now the model number is a legit Nintendo model number. So, yeah. So there's that. But I would assume the price is correct. If they've got the model number, they probably have the price.
Yeah, it's actually correct because I was at E3 when I was playing it, and they were saying it's $39.99.
Oh, they did. I didn't know they gave the retail price at E3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I remember
They
seeing
probably weren't
something about it,
supposed
and then
Oops.
and
Well,
then
I guess the news here is that Kmart is selling something.
I think I saw it and didn't pay attention to it, so that's why. Because
All right, well, there you go.
oh, there's more news. There's more news.
Yeah, why? Okay, so all the chatters that are like, the game was announced at E3. Yeah, but sorry if we were paying attention to like Splatoon or like the cool stuff.
Or
I
sorry if some of us, had job and real life stuff to worry about.
I saw the stuff on Kirby Treasure Tracker. I just thought it looked so boring that I just didn't give a shit.
No, I didn't realize the price had already been out there. I thought that was the new thing. All right, whatever. Dark Syra.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was busy worrying about real life for a moment. Sorry. Another thing, too, if you are a fan of Zen Pinball 2, then there is a Guardians of the Galaxy table to be out on actually, it's already out. It's came out on July 29th for $2.99, and it's both heroes and villains from the universe, and should be awesome as long as it has lots and lots of Rocket Raccoon.
The movie, by the way, killed at the box office. Like
94 million.
90 plus million, and they were only expecting it to make 70.
Fuck you, Titanic.
So, well, I don't think it's going to go that huge, but it's doing very well for itself.
No, Dan went and saw it without me.
What a jerk.
I know, right?
Well, he better go see it again.
I'm going to go without him.
You should. We'll go. We can go on a date. We'll go on a
Okay,
date.
Let's go on a Play-Doh date.
All right, it'll be fun.
Okay.
Because I haven't seen it yet. Although Alan might be mad if I see it without him. So.
Then Dan can take Alan to see it.
You know what though? Alan and Shane went out last night to go have Mongolian. So you know
really?
what? Yeah, there you go. So, all right, moving on. Oh, it's the Fugal question of the week time.
Maybe.
Here I was talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. I almost forgot to get to Facebook and Google Plus. You slam those words together, you get Fugal. It's the Fugal question of the week. Every week we ask a question of our Facebook and Google Plus communities, and we read some of our favorite answers here on air. If I'm feeling quite generous, I'll read all of them. Well, tonight I had to ask something about that GameStop credit card. So the question we asked, did you hear about the controversial new credit card at the Evil G? This makes us think about crazy lengths you might have gone to in the past to play the game you want. What's the craziest thing you've ever done to either A, get a great deal on a game, or B, get your hands on the game at all? Now, the weird thing about this Fugal question of the week is we had a lot of people that just kind of responded to the story and not really the question, but okay, it's the show where every gamer has a voice, and there are some really interesting opinions on it, so I'll read all the answers anyway.
It's the show where nobody reads.
Yeah, because clearly.
This is
Did you not read the sign on the door before you came in?
this is the 2000s. No one reads. They assume.
All right, no, it's fine. I'm just giving you guys some crap. Well, clearly people wanted to comment on the credit card, and that's fine. So let's start with our buddy Renee from Killer Queens from Outer Space, who did answer the question at hand, who said, being a part-time street corner pharmaceutical representative in order to save up enough monies to purchase the Sega CD system and a couple of titles. Girl, you sold weed so you could play Night Trap? Is that what you're saying? Is that what I'm hearing? What is a part-time street corner pharmaceutical representative? Is that a weed salesman? All right. Anyhow, AZHP says, this sounds like it's meant for the irresponsible college student who gets their first credit card at the same time they move out but have no job, buy a whole bunch of things on credit saying, I can make the minimum and pay it off when I get a job out of college. Then 5 years later, they realize they've got thousands of dollars in debt in addition to their student loans and have to go bankrupt at 23 years old. I guess if GameStop wants a piece of that pie, go for it. It's no stinkier than any other retail-based credit card offer from Macy's, even if the APR is higher. Degenerate Johnny says, back to the crazy thing you did for a game. I convinced my family to do a yearly present trade-off. No presents for me for an entire year, no birthday presents, no Christmas presents, etc. In exchange, they would purchase an Atari Jaguar for me when it came out. I was a big Aliens vs. Predator fan back then. Well, and Tempest 2000 was definitely worth getting a Jaguar for as well. All right. Let's see. Elliot B. responded saying, I spent the majority of a family holiday in New York traipsing around shops for a DS. It wasn't available in the UK at that point, and even in New York, it was sold out everywhere. Eventually, I managed to find one in Times Square, and I was the coolest kid in school until it came out in the UK 3 months later. Jonathan L. said, during the PlayStation Network's sales a few months ago, I bought 3 months of PlayStation Plus to get some to get some PS3 games cheap, but I don't actually have a PS3. I'll get one eventually, and when I do, I have some HD remakes waiting to download. So he bought games for a system he doesn't even own. That is going to pretty great lengths. SG100 Matt says, when the DS Lite came out, I went to several Circuit City stores, bought a few $6 PlayStation 2 games, and returned them to Walmart for $35 each. I ended up with about $130 in store credit after only spending $36 collectively at various Circuit City stores. With that store credit, I bought a DS Lite. I understand this is a highly unethical tactic and probably illegal, but I was a young, crafty college student and a big cheapskate. A few more answers on the credit card front. Chiggers says, I am swamped with credit card debt, and if I ever get out of it, I will never let it happen again. These things are evil. And lastly, Alan Alchemy. That's right. My partner couldn't read the question and answered.
Way to go, Alan.
No, but you know what?
Heart.
This is a good piece of feedback on the credit card issue. So Alan Alchemy says, I don't mind it because they can't pitch it to anyone who looks under 18, but this is no different from when we're harassed at Target for their card. They're just joining the big kids table, which makes sense since video games is a multi-billion-dollar industry. The main issue is that 18th birthday, no credit, horrible interest rate, foreshadowing of fucking up their credit rating forever risk angle, but that's not GameStop's problem and will just happen on some other store's card. The interest rate is gross, but similar to what Providian and Capital One provides for the same demographic. $20 up front is a pretty lame perk too, but oh well. Well, let's check out over on Google Plus and see if people actually was answering the question or was answering the credit card feature. Again, I'm just giving you guys crap. I actually think the answers on the credit card front are great. It is the show where every gamer has a voice. Let's see. We have a couple answers, and they are both about the crazy question. So ActDef says, I think the most crazy thing I've done to get my hands on a video game is probably overpay for one. I wanted a copy of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney when it first came out, but it was super rare to get. So I paid $50 USD for a used when it actually cost $30 USD new. But it was kind of hard to actually find a new copy at that price, so at the time I didn't mind. Sadly, a few months later, Capcom decided to print more copies of the game. Oh well. And lastly, Reddertainment says, when I was a kid, I mowed lawns to buy a Game Boy. Due to me being a ginger, this resulted in me bursting into flames on a regular basis due to walking outside. Flame on! There it is, the answers to the Fugal question of the week. I'll pose the question in the room. Does anybody want to answer? We already talked about the credit card thing, but what was the craziest thing you ever did to get your hands on a game?
I paid $210 to get the Sailor Moon S fighting game, and I ordered it COD in Alabama, which was the only way I could get it.
Wow.
I saved up for like 6 months. And then my grandma drove me around to 5 different stores until we went to Montgomery Ward so I could buy Killer Instinct.
Awesome.
In Alabama.
That's awesome.
I've bought press kits to play games early.
Wow.
Several times. Like, I paid... think $120 for the MotorStorm Apocalypse press kit, but I got to play the game over a month before it came out. I did that for DJ Hero 2, or DJ Hero, the original one, and I remember I got the I don't remember if it was the first or the second one, but I got the DJ Hero turntable, like a beta one that was wired.
I remember that.
And then I got the demo disc with that.
You used to buy
Worth
that.
it. It was awesome.
You used to buy that crazy shit all the time, and I was like, how much did you spend on that, Loki? Anyway, I would say, honestly, the craziest thing I did was I imported a Japanese PlayStation 2 to play Beatmania 2DX. That was pretty crazy. That was a lot of money to be able to do that.
We bought the one that Game Master had.
Yeah.
Their last up, which was the first model Japanese PlayStation 2.
Nice.
By the way, still works.
I know, yeah. Mine probably still works, too. I don't know if you can... It stopped working with my TV at some point. Like, some of the older games didn't work. Jonas, Diego, anything crazy you guys did?
Might be gamer related. When I actually purchased Iguana Girl's a Japanese PlayStation 2 because she wasn't using... I think she wanted to sell it like with Beatmania and stuff.
Right.
In the top of buying like the DDR pass for cheap, I decided to compulsively buy a lot of like the Beamani and the DDR games just to keep up with the gamers at the time.
Yeah, as most music game nerds would do. They have to have them all. I got to get 7 style, 8 style, 9 style, 10 style. Got to get them all.
And we provided for the and we provided a lot of the stuff for the community for the cons. And,
okay.
But in addition to that, with the buying the games, we compulsively bought like like repair kits for like the pads too, because as much as people start stomping with heels, we have to repair the hell out of those.
Yeah.
It gets pricey, but we did it for we did it for all the fans.
All right, I did it for the fans. All right, Diego, any crazy purchases you made?
Yeah, also hanging out with Jonas and all, like some of his friends got me into music games and such. But when I was getting into imports, I went online and bought a Japanese Wii and got Brawl when it was released in Japan before it came out in America.
Oh, dang. Okay.
So we had it over here quite early, and people were on that. And the amazing thing about that is that the names are different.
Yeah.
Two of the names are different in Japanese. They're like they call Bowser Koopa, King Koopa, or just Koopa, which is amazing. And they call Jigglypuff Purin.
Right.
And Pokemon Trainer was, I don't know, they said it in a different tone. And Rob was called Robot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we had that for about a good 3 to 4 months before it was released in America.
Yeah,
So we're showcasing it over here.
I did that too, and I wasn't even a big fan of Smash Brothers. I just wanted to play it early.
Yeah, you just had to have it early. That's it.
But see, I didn't buy an import system. I put a mod chip in mine instead, which that was scary because at the time I wasn't very good at soldering. I was like, I'm gonna fuck this up. I'm gonna fuck this up. I'm gonna fuck this up. Hey, it worked! Yay!
I've heard a couple of people who were just flimsy on that, and they just screwed up their entire Wii system. I'm like, well, there goes the warranty. You just screwed with it. So
Yeah.
By the way, we have a switch on the back of our GameCube. It's not hooked to anything. We just have a switch on the back of our GameCube.
It's just there.
We put it there, starting to mod it, and we didn't do anything with it. So now we just have a switch
I
on
miss
the back of our GameCube.
I miss the days of the PlayStation 1 where you just plug that little guy in the back and bang, it's done.
Yes.
Oh,
I remember
that
that.
was
Modded.
I remember that.
And don't forget about trying to sit and go through all of the hoops that you had to jump through to get PSO to work with the Ethernet adapter.
Yes.
On the DreamCube. And I got it.
The Dreamcube?
No, DreamCube, the Dreamcast.
Just
Rob.
a dream team.
Yeah.
Fart, Rob, fart.
I will. Anyway, moving on. Let's get back into some other news for the week. Loki.
So, Crytek hasn't been doing that great, and because of that, they actually end up selling off some of their titles and assets to different companies. For example, Homefront: The Revolution was actually sold to Deep Silver, the company that was going to be publishing it, and because I guess they just didn't have the money or something, whatever. But basically, they said, hey, we strongly believed in the potential of Homefront: The Revolution and trust the new team to continue the path that they have been walking for the last few years. And also to go along with that, Crytek also has this game called Hunt, which is a co-op monster hunting game. Kind of think of like, I don't know, Constantine or something like that. But this is actually moved from the original studio to now Crytek Austin. Oh, I'm sorry, from Crytek Austin to the Frankfurt location. So shifting stuff around. But I guess they did make a comment, though, I want to say, saying that no, our financial stuff's okay, but you got to wonder if they're starting to sell assets like that and move stuff around.
Yeah.
That maybe they're thinking of downsizing a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Game Guru in our chat over at live.vognetwork.com is asking, did someone buy Time Splitters?
No.
No, sadly. I'd have been excited about that. I want to buy Time Splitters. I just don't have any money. We'd take $1. That's my final offer.
Moving on to some other news. This is about Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. For those of you that have picked this up for the 3DS, this is kind of neat. A lot of stuff on 3DS, as you know, is region locked, and that doesn't make the system popular with some people because they got to buy the import systems. But the cool thing about Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate is that the multiplayer mode is not going to be region locked online with North America and Europe. So but the weird thing is not Japanese. So it's still region locked for Japanese, but North America and Europe will be able to play together. I don't know if that's like a language difference, although they speak more. I mean, there's other parts of Europe where they speak other languages than English. I don't know.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I'm not sure what went into that decision, but those walls coming down with region locking is a good thing. I mean, I know I have friends overseas that I would love to play World of Warcraft with or whatever. I mean, not that I'm really playing WoW anymore, but when I would really love to play with them, but I can't because they can't roll characters on these servers with the Europe game. It's stupid.
Oh, okay.
So stupid. But in Final Fantasy 14, he can, which is great. I can play on a Japanese server if I want. I'll have lag, but I can do it.
I really didn't notice much lag playing on the Japanese server, by the way.
It's not that bad at all. No.
I used to love playing with the Japanese players.
Because they
in Final
freaking know
Fantasy
how to
11.
play.
Well, they used to respect the bard. A bard couldn't get a fucking party because I had a kick-ass bard too. So
Well, what I have to make a quick mention. I love playing with Japanese players using the little translator thingy because they actually will make sure everyone's ready and move forward at the same time. Even if you were a complete stranger, you were still treated with basic respect, and your skills are incorporated into the group properly, and not just the party bitch. I'm sorry, healer.
Some of those were very
Healer
well
problems.
organized, and especially the Japanese servers. But they know you'll be lagging like a motherfucker, especially because that's definitely an American right there.
And they'll wait. But that's the thing, they'll wait.
Yeah.
At least most of the ones I've run into.
Not when I played Metal Gear Online. Metal Gear 4 Online. As soon as you get on those servers, they kick you out immediately. They just ban you, kind of, because they can choice ban you as a vote. Because seeing them playing that game online, when that game came out, that was probably the best Metal Gear Online I played. Because in Japan, it's a game, and they have the online game separate. In America, it's just one game. And in going that and seeing them being so organized, I said, okay, I can see why they don't want to lose a match on that, because if you're lagging it up, you're holding up the team.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. I guess we'll do one more story here. Or no, a couple more stories here before the mailbag. Dark Sakura.
Well, there's one about the best game ever, Hatoful Boyfriend. If no one has ever heard of this game, I don't know why, because it's amazing. Basically, it's a game where you get to... You're the only human left, and all of the guys left are pigeons. So you have to date a pigeon. You're the last human woman in the world, and you have to date a pigeon. You go to an all-pigeon high school, except for you. Anyway, this game has been out for a little while, since 2011. And yeah, this is done by... it was actually done by a manga artist named Hatamoa, and the people who did Amateur Surgeon and Foul Play are going to be putting this out through Steam for $9.99 on August 21st. And it's awesome. Hatoful Boyfriend will have there'll be a collector's edition called Summer of Dove that has a copy of the game as well as a downloadable version of the soundtrack, the digital comic by Moa, wallpapers of one of the game's pigeon heartthrobs, and a digital version of the yearbook. And so the world was engulfed in pudding.
So what would be the proper etiquette when you go out on a date with a pigeon, Dark Sakura? Does the pigeon pay, or do you pay, or do you go Dutch, or what?
You regurgitate your food to the babies.
Oh my God! Just mother birded it into their mouths.
That's a fair response. Response.
Cuckoo, motherfucker.
Loki.
yeah, it's gonna be hard to follow up. But this is kind of neat, I guess. They've been working together for a while now. But Gust, the company that puts out a lot of different Japanese games, including the popular Atelier series, mainly on PlayStation 3, will now become part of Koei Tecmo, and this is going to be effective on October 1st. And so I guess we'll see a lot more Atelier games from them, and maybe some more of the Arton Lico series.
So these companies are merging and getting bigger and turning into super companies and
Well,
Voltron.
they're like turning from like small companies to mid-sized small companies.
I guess Atelier wasn't really a huge developer, so...
Well, Gust, yeah, they
sorry.
weren't that huge, but it's
Yeah.
good to that they'll be around.
All right. Let's go to the mailbag. Every week you guys send us emails. Participate at orangelaungeradio.com. And Dark Sakura picks some of her favorite emails to read right here on the show. Although...
One of them.
I was going to say, I don't think there was a big selection this week. We had a very quiet audience.
Narp.
I guess the show we did last week was just so powerful that everybody was just blown away by it and felt no need to email us.
I gave everybody the plague.
All right. Again, if you want to email us, participate at orangelaungeradio.com. But in the meantime, there's at least one email, right, Dark Sakura?
Yeah. What's up, Orange Lounge? Can someone remind Loki that Skeezy makes music? Here, Loki, give my next sample a listen. If you have a certain mood or style that you think you can describe, I'm willing to try anything for you. He did send us music.
See, I knew that would happen when you complained about not having music for your game. Somebody out there would be like, I do music.
Yeah, there's I don't know, there's a beat, I guess, but yeah, I'll take a look.
I'll forward you the email so you can
Sounds
check out the MP3. Is that it?
No.
Oh.
Anyways, but I heard Rob say that he's, quote, too old, end quote, to be going to midnight releases, but I'm sure you guys have some good memories of standing in line pre-holiday season. Could you share some midnight release moments from the past with us? There was the time that Kristen and I bribed our way into the middle of the line to get Wii's with donuts and coffee.
You found fans of
We found OLR fans.
Which still blows me away that
And we
there's
told-
people that recognize this out there. But you found fans of OLR standing in line at Target.
We asked everyone in line, do you mind if we take this place in line and we will buy you donuts and coffee when Krispy Kreme opens? And they're like, sure.
Nice.
So, and then we stayed up all night writing bad fan fiction together.
That's awesome.
Which was awesome. And then there was waiting for the Dreamcast, where my friend and I went over to Barnes & Noble and got like really cheap, crappy horror books. And we're reading about really bad vampire stuff in line at the mall, sitting on the floor.
My midnight release story was when Extifer was my roommate at the time, and he really wanted to play the Wii even more than I did. So I said, here's the cash. You go wait in line and get the Wii, and I'm going to sleep. And I did, and he did, and everybody was happy.
Oh. Now, there was waiting in line to see episode 1, which, God, what was I thinking? Even though it wasn't, it was a movie and not a game release.
Yeah.
The coolest thing about the whole event, including the movie, were the people under the trees in full costume having toy lightsaber duels until the cops made them stop.
Yeah, I was at the midnight release of episode 1 as well. Yeah, I've done that for a few movies, but I don't do it for a lot of games. The last midnight release I really remember going to for a game was Final Fantasy 12. It was a long time ago.
Dan did a bunch of them, but he worked at GameStop and Game Crazy.
Yeah. Loki, any crazy midnight releases you did?
I haven't done too many. I mean, I did those for like the Grand Theft Auto games. Like the last one I remember actually going to a midnight release for was San Andreas, and it wasn't that interesting. I mean, it was just kind of okay. We're waiting in line. Okay, they're open. Pick up a copy. Done. The Wii stuff was fun, but at the same time, I already had mine that prior that week. So it wasn't like I was excited to get it that day.
With the whole, I just don't have to do it anymore because I can't stay up late playing the game because I have to work the next day. And if I buy it on a place like Amazon or whatever, they deliver it and it's home when I get home from work, and there you go.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's what I'll do with Destiny probably.
I mean, the only time I'd say the exception for that is like if I'm going to get a game system day one and I really need it that ASAP. But the problem is though nowadays, because I would just order it for my work and just get it delivered prior to release. I don't know.
How about our guests, Jonas, Diego? Any crazy midnight stories for you guys to play a game?
I would say also for the Wii, when me and my friends were waiting for the Wii release by a Walmart, and my one friend had suggested that we'd bring a unfoldable table, sit down with a couple of chairs, and play Magic the Gathering as we waited. And it worked so well because we were so into our game that we forgot that time was passing by, and a little bit of coffee that helped out.
That helps out too.
Yeah, but it was unusual because a lot of people gathered around us, and they're like, "What?" They thought we were gambling, and I was like, "No. These are just these cards." And they're like, "Oh, okay." They were gonna go tell security. I'm like, "No, wait, this is not going down.
Kick them out of line.
Like you don't see chips here. You don't see nothing. There's nothing going on. There's no money on the tables. Let's just calm down."
Probably weren't even playing for Auntie, were you?
It's just magic.
No. I know.
All right, Jonas.
For midnight releases, I really don't do those kind of things. But the last time I did a midnight release was with my fiance now. since we're never got engaged.
For what game?
Pokemon X and Y.
There you go. All right.
Okay, I started to invite her for her first ever midnight release.
That wasn't that long ago, so.
Yeah. So okay, we went to midnight release, and because she's like one of the only girls who actually played Pokemon X, Y in that line, she just played a lot of people and kicked everyone's ass. So
Wait, she was one of the only girls in line? I would think there are tons of girls that play Pokemon.
well, it wasn't the Folsom area, but almost everybody was all male.
Wow. All right. Well,
There were
Fair
just
enough.
parts of them that were female.
I guess. Well, maybe it's the fact too that the women just, they knew better to stay home and sleep and rest
You
up
know
for
what?
the
I
Pokemon
think
marathon
the
that
midnight
weekend.
releases are fun sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just I'm old
Yeah, me too.
and I like to sleep.
Me
I mean,
too.
it could be fun, and I mean, it's just me and my.
Get off my lawn. All right.
But the rest of the email.
Yes.
Thanks. Much love, EA Skeezy. Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
You're welcome. There it is. Participate at orangeloungeradio.com if you would like to take some of Dark Sakura's precious time to have an email read here on the program.
You would take my time and my sanity.
All right. Well, I guess it was good that our mailbag segment was a little bit shorter tonight because after the mailbag always comes the FUs of the week.
Oh, this is bad. Here is justice. Here is punishment. This is fucked up.
I have two. The first one goes towards people who take up far too much personal space than they need to. I'm sorry. You don't have to sit on a public bench with your legs spread out to where you're the size of two people instead of one. Keep them together. No one wants to see your crotch. I don't care who you are. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care if you are a scrawny little 2-year-old. I don't care if you are, I don't know, the biggest bubba to have ever bubbed. Keep it together.
Dark Sakura just doesn't care in general.
I think that if a guy's going to sit there with his legs spread out, like, come do me now, that I should be able to sit with my legs spread out and take up more space than possible. But no, double standards. So, men, keep your legs together.
All right.
Number two. The waiting. I hate the waiting. I want to know now.
I want it now.
I want the world. I want the whole world.
All right. Loki, how about your FUs of the week?
All right, ladies, let's be real here. Yeah, crazy sometimes, and I know that you don't like it when men call you crazy, but hear me out. Today, I was changing the baby, as I normally do, because he poops, and my wife walks in, and she goes, "You don't say my name enough." I'm like,
What?
I'm like, when we're having a conversation, you don't say my name. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? I say your name all the time. How do I get your attention? Nelly, can you go do this? Nelly, do this. Nelly, do this. It makes no fucking sense. Why would a woman come into the room and have this thought in their head and complain about this? It makes no goddamn sense to me. And maybe just because I'm a man, but that's why I call you crazy sometimes, because you say crazy things. Maybe if you didn't say crazy things, I wouldn't call you crazy.
No one is around you. Say, baby, I love you. If you ain't running game,
All right.
say my name, say my
For the
name.
record,
You acting kinda shady. Ain't calling me baby.
that is crazy. Just saying. Dan and I pride ourselves on making up weird nicknames for each other.
But it's not like, I don't refer, I don't go, hey, you. I mean, I call her by her name, I call my kids by their names. When appropriate. I mean, if I'm talking to you already, I'm not going to just say your name all the time,
Do you call her weird nicknames?
No, I don't call her weird nicknames.
Do you call her any fun pet names?
Nope.
No. Maybe you should.
Well, no.
Make up a fun, crazy nickname and see if she likes that better. You could call her Nelly Pop.
No, it's
Nelly
unfortunately, it'll just rub off on our kids. My son already, he doesn't want to go to sleep, if his fan blades on the ceiling fan aren't facing the right direction.
Wow.
This is the
No.
kind of crap.
Oh, no.
my.
So, whatever. I'm done.
All right. I don't have a whole lot of FUs of the week. FU to the fact that I only slept for 5 hours last night. That would be my FU of the week. because sleep is valuable. Diego,
Let's hear more about this sleeping for 5 hours a night.
you know what?
Tell me more about
You're
it.
the one that had the kid, all right?
Kids.
For the record, since there seems to be a mention of this in the chat, Dan just calls me girl, and I call him boy.
That's what I call you too, girl.
Girl, don't even.
All right.
Dan and I really do have weird nicknames for each other.
I'm not going to get into it, what Alan and I do. It's none of your business.
Oh.
None of any of your businesses. All right, anyhow, moving on. Diego, do you have any FUs?
CFUs. Well, one that comes to mind. I just say just one that comes to mind. Since like me and Jonas do a lot of conventional work and such, and we always influence, especially at Fanime, we influence the three standard rule law of taking at least one shower. Please using some sort of deodorant, and by golly, drink as much water and food as you can, because all these kids running around don't do that. And for the fact of being illiterate and such forth, or screaming at the top of your lungs when you're doing a tournament, and they're staring at you and saying, "Did you call my name yet?" Yes, is there a Jason? Is there a Jason here? Is there a Jason? Just an example. Let's just put it out there. Just an example. Jason. And about 5-10 minutes later, after I disqualified this kid, he comes up, "Hey," and I literally know where this kid was standing the whole time. And he comes up, "Had I been called yet?" I said, "Are you fucking serious?"
Diego, all Jason wants is for you to say his name.
If
Right.
no one is around you, say, baby, I love you. If you ain't running game, say my name, say my name.
When Jason's standing in front of me, I don't give a shit lately. I don't.
You're hired.
You're on the megaphone. I still can't hit you. I still can't hear you lately. Mr. Jason's disqualified. Wait, I didn't hear my name then. No, you're still disqualified. It's not going on the wish list. You got to get the fuck out of here. No. I don't know. I tried to improv there. I guess I tried.
Good night, everybody. See you next week. Oh, you just won OLR for the evening. Congratulations. All right. Well, I would say, how can we follow that FU of the week? But then I remember Jonas is here for the first time in 7 years. Let's hear it. 7 years worth of FUs.
Drum roll.
Well, I'll keep it short. I mean, I'm more calm nowadays for the past after 7 years. But okay. All right. A big FU to the person who stained my Wii U. It went from
Wait. Who stained your Wii U?
no. Wii remote controller.
Okay.
I don't even want to know what got on it.
Wait, what was the stain?
Okay. This happened at one of the events. It was white at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. It was like clear white, cleaned up. I come back 11 o'clock. It was brown stained. The Wii strap,
Oh, the strap.
and we had to clean that up because someone pointed out like how nasty it was. I'm like,
Oh my God! So somebody tried to put it in their butt?
Some-
Like, how does it?
No. Someone like sweat grease, basically. I have some coworkers that the controllers. I'm like, how the fuck is there like there's like wax built up on this shit? What are you guys like sweating like motor oil or something? I don't know.
Maybe.
let's see, another fuck you to the whole story with the Scandia situation. Now, for those who want to put their Bimani games in Sacramento, you might as well play them as soon as possible because we have, unfortunately, with the unknown audit, we have to take those games out before, actually, with less than 20 days.
Get ready to drive to Miggle, where it's twice as far and costs twice as much.
Yeah, and sadly, that was actually the place where I can actually practice form of freestyle for the United States Championships for Pump It Up. I'm like, fuck, how am I supposed to practice now?
Yeah.
And people are expecting me to be competing with 2 routines if possible. Yes, I still freestyle. Just came back out of nowhere. But
Wow.
yeah, unfortunately, that with what just happened, it's going to be a lot tougher to deal with.
Well, people have been demanding Dr. Dick to come back too. So someday.
I know it's running mid routine.
Yep, someday.
Let's see.
Very 2% of our listeners get that joke, if that. That's all right.
A critical fuck you, and hopefully this gets into people's heads. Fuck you to those who are trying to bring illegal like ROMs and stuff, or even requesting it to the game rooms, or even like hack stuff. FYI, you guys, there's actual companies like Nintendo, Sony watching these conventions. You don't want conventions to get shut down or get sued. You all know the strict legal laws of these things.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be held responsible for that. Let's say this happens. Let's say a really good event like Gamer X.
Yeah, where 2K and Ubisoft are present. It's like,
Yeah, you don't want to
And
bring.
Gearbox.
let's play a pirated version of Rayman.
Yeah, let's not do that,
let's
yo.
not.
Like, I know this is a big issue with like the Project M community. It's like, look, it's a modern game. We can't do
right.
that.
Right.
Because even Nintendo said, don't bring that to us. We can't have that. We don't. We just don't want these conventions to get in trouble because it hurts the industry. It hurts us. It hurts the.
You can go up to your hotel room and play all the Project M you want.
Yes, exactly.
There you go.
Take it out of public sight.
All right.
I think that's about it for now.
All right. For now. All right. There it is, folks. The FUs of the week. It was a little bit longer tonight, but, Jonas was here. That was going to happen. All right. Just a couple more stories for you guys before we get to your calls. If you want to call in and say FU, but then I can just hang up on you. But if you have something you want to actually talk about, whether we missed it or whether there's a news story that you want to give an opinion on, perhaps the whole EA pass thing that we talked about earlier in the show, or you want to talk to us about the Evil G's credit card or whatever, we can talk about that. 1-877-GAME-OLR or our username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio. But first, we have a couple more stories. Loki.
So, Monopoly has had several themed versions of their game, including a Super Mario Brothers version and World of Warcraft version. Well, now there's going to be the Legend of Zelda edition. That's going to be coming out on September 15th. And it is all Hyrule themed, and they've got, all sorts of cool game pieces. There's like a Triforce in there. I'm trying to see...
Soon to be seen in convention board game rooms everywhere across America, right?
Yes, and apparently, I'm trying to see here. Here we go. The choices that you'll have: a bow, a hook shot, boomerang, Triforce, or shield are going to be available. And also, I guess if you want to shop at the Evil G, they also have an Ocarina of Time as well. And 6 power cards that tweak the gameplay and some sort of lithograph of the Hyrule map if you want to purchase it from the Evil G. So, all right. Looks kind of neat, I guess.
I would like to get my hands on that, actually. I have that. There was a Mario Monopoly not that long ago that I have.
Yes,
or it's like Nintendo or something. So
Yeah, both.
Yeah. So why not? The Zelda thing makes sense. All right, well, one more story for you guys. This is a little bit of a warning to those of you that downloaded The Sims 2 by EA. Heads up, Darsakra, Loki, those of you that got your free Sims 2. It has come to people's attention that Sims 2 contained Secure ROM, which you might remember from a long time ago, right? We talked about this on the show before. EA's Secure ROM was a pretty intrusive form of or the copy protection scheme that they would have in the game there that had the potential to screw up other games on your computer. It would bury itself in your registry, and it's a real pain in the ass to get out. So just a heads up, if you installed Sims 2, your computer probably has Secure ROM in it now. You can get rid of it. There's, just Google it if you want to how to remove Secure ROM, although look for instructions, not for software, because the software probably has viruses. So there's instructions out there. Other games that have the Secure ROM, if you didn't know, BioShock, Mass Effect, Spore, which is a huge one, because this is a big part of the reason why people pirated Spore back when it came out. Command & Conquer Red Alert 3, Dragon Age 2, Final Fantasy 7 on PC, the re-release. So there you go. So you might want to check your registry, see if Secure ROM's there. Unless you don't care. If you don't care, then there you go. But if you do care and you want to get that shit off your computer, you might need to look into that. So there it goes. So you'll have to quarantine Sims 2 like it was an Ebola virus or something, or send it back to where it came, to its homeland or something. I don't know. All right, there it is. 1-877-GAME-OLR. Our username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio, if you'd like to give us a call, and we can talk about whatever's on your mind while we wait for the calls to come in, if any come in at all.
For the record, Avast caught it like right away.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so not worry about it.
There you go. Let's see. I'm looking in our chat here over at live.vognetwork.com. Kassan says, this is why you quarantine Origin. I always mispronounce his name, sorry. Oh no, my Vista partition has been corrupted. How will I live? Hey, that's what happened with Spore on my computer.
He's in Vista.
I think it's a joke. All right, Loki, you have any last-minute stories for us?
Sure, this is pretty exciting. There's going to be a brand new point-and-click adventure game called Randall's Monday. And why is it even more awesome? Because Randall, or I should say the actor Jeff Anderson, Randall from Clerks, will be doing the voice of Randall.
I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
I believe that would have
was
been
Dante.
I thought they both said it.
No.
Whatever.
So I'll probably have to get that game because it looks pretty awesome. And I'll just pretend it's Randall from Clerks, even if it's not really Randall from Clerks.
Randall from Clerks was the one that said, this job would be great if it wasn't for the fucking customers, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
But you hate people. But I love gatherings. Isn't it ironic?
Oh, that's such a good movie. I wonder if they ever will make a Clerks 3. I hope they do. I think I heard something where like Miramax like rejected the script or rejected it or something. So, or whatever, the Weinstein Company or whoever does these movies now. 1-877-GAME-OLR, username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio. Meanwhile, I do have a few tweets I could read here. One of the tweets is from SSJ100 Matt, who says, the folks at Overclocked Remix have released a Game Boy 25th anniversary album. And, of course, it's free. And you can check that out at gameboy25.ocremix.com.
Wait, free?
Mm-hmm.
I like
That's
free.
OC Remix album. They do a lot of stuff for free. So, and yes, the Game Boy is 25 years old. Are you okay?
Okay, read it.
What is this you're going to
This
show
was
me?
like I had to show it to somebody.
You guys have problems. Stop interrupting. Stop interrupting the radio show with your Tumblr posts. All right. Let's see. 13 Forever, 13 Cross Forever, 13X Forever says, as I can't call in, you and any listener with at least passing interest in JRPGs should research Kisuke series and buy Trails in the Sky. I'm not familiar with this. Loki, you heard of this one?
Trails in the Sky is, I think, one of those games that was built with RPG Maker, and they actually had that part of the RPG Maker Humble Bundle, if I remember correctly. So, yes, I'm a little familiar with it. It's supposed to be pretty good. I don't know. Jamie would know. She bought that Humble Bundle.
I did, but I didn't touch it yet.
I bet I have it. I probably purchased it at some point. It's probably on my Steam library or something. I don't even know if it's on Steam or something, but I've got so many games.
Dart Tetsuya tweets us and says, on the whole Scandia controversy, some people were suggesting a Kickstarter, so stay tuned. What's a Kickstarter going to do in that situation?
Open a Zone Arcade.
That's
Actually,
a lofty goal.
On the topic of that, it has been done for arcades before. I'm not sure if anybody has heard about the Super Arcade on Kickstarter.
I don't think so. Tell me more.
Okay, so the idea of what happened with Super Arcade when they did the Kickstarter was to keep the arcade running because the guy was using all his financial assets to make sure it runs and to renovate to make it even look better for a wide variety of audiences. Right now, they're currently in the assembly, like reassembling the whole location. I think the idea of a Kickstarter would be great, but before even doing that, they had to. Before the Kickstarter, they had to figure out a location.
Yeah.
Whether it maybe in the Thomas area or even Elk Grove, or it just a location where it actually suits everybody, or those who are
downtown. Sell booze. That's a great formula.
Actually, downtown is kind of a hit miss at the moment because the reason why is because currently the arena is being in control.
Oh shit! Yeah, and it's gonna jack all the prices up downtown too.
It's gonna jack up the prices downtown, and it may also make operations a lot difficult because of parking.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think everybody remembered Nickel Arcade.
Oh God, yeah. See, I remember that. That was what I was gonna say. Downtown's not a good place for an arcade.
All right, maybe Roseville. I don't know. They used to speaking of Nickel Arcades, they used to have Nickel Mania.
Citrus Heights.
Huh? Who knows?
Not. I don't even know.
But regardless, yes, there needs to be an arcade location, like at least known soon before the scramble for where the location the arcade is going to be at.
Right.
Like the arcade machines will be sold to other places or will be kept still in the Sacramento area for another location to keep.
Be interesting to see what develops with that. The old Birdcage Arcade. All right, 1-877-GAME-OLR. Username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio. If you'd like to give us a call, we keep talking about all this local drama, but there is there's a whole world out there of people. And Dart Tetsuya in our chat room following up saying, yeah, they're just discussing it at the moment, but I'm keeping an ear out. Let's see. There's some folks talking about the Clerks 3 thing in chat. SSG100 Matt says, Kevin Smith is going to, but nobody ever got paid for Clerks 2, so he's sorting out the legal stuff with the Weinsteins for that first. Oh, so maybe they'll work it out. Who knows? We do have a call coming in, so let's get to it. Hi, you're on Orange Lounge Radio. Who's this?
This is Raginator.
Hey, Raginator. What's up, buddy?
Excuse me. Not a whole lot. Just a little bit of news that bears repeating. You know how for the past few weeks I've been promoting or passing along information about the free games that have been given away by PC Gamer?
We love free things.
Yeah. Well, the promotion is more or less in its quote unquote final week. It's like they're essentially recapping the bundle that they're been giving away. This is essentially the last chance to get any games that you may have missed, and there's one or two gems in there. They're actually quite good. One of which is Dino D-Day, which honestly I've played for a while. It's basically, imagine a PlayStation 2 era Medal of Honor game, but both sides, aside from human characters, you also have dinosaurs. The choice of playing as a dinosaur as well.
Wait. You can play as a dinosaur?
Yeah. Or a human.
It's like Jurassic Park on the Genesis.
Basically,
cool.
Well, like I said, in terms of graphics, it looks exactly like a PlayStation 2 era called Medal of Honor game, and kind of plays like one too, just that with the inclusion of dinosaurs.
All right, I think everybody perked up when you said the dinosaurs were involved. So tell us one more time where we can grab this.
PC Gamer. I believe on top of the website, there's like a scrolling banner, and you just click on when it mentions the free Steam giveaway. And there's another really good one, which is a twin-stick shooter called Really Big Sky.
Oh yeah, I have that game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really fun. And I forget what else there is in there. There's a total of 5 games altogether.
And PC, here's the thing: Really Big Sky has trading cards in it. So hypothetically, you could grab this free game and then sell the trading cards, and you'd have like $1.
Yeah, exactly. And Act After, I see in chat that Act After is asking what the website is. It's PC Gamer, PC literally Gamer, GAMER.com.
And there's also this website called Google, and you put PC Gamer into it, and you're likely to get that as the first result, I think. It's a pretty big...
And they have a giant banner that you can click on.
Yeah.
I actually redeemed all of these. I already had except for Gun Monkeys, because I already had Gun Monkeys, and actually have 2 copies of Gun Monkeys, so I have one.
Wait.
Get rid of.
Monkeys with guns?
Yes, it's like Smash
Cool.
Brothers. But
What the
with
heck?
Gun Monkeys. But with monkeys and guns.
Let's talk more about the gun monkeys. First off, why would you give a monkey a gun?
I don't know. You want a copy of the game? I have an extra Steam key. Because each one you redeem, including this, if you get it for free, you get 2.
Hell yeah, if monkeys with guns are involved, I want it.
monkeys with guns.
That's like Planet of the Apes again. In the
All right,
movie.
well,
Do you know what? This game is officially a virus.
PCGamer.com. Go to the free Steam key thing. You just have to like bundle stars and stuff. But the thing is, you can always unsubscribe.
Yeah, like, key, unlike. Done.
Yeah, you also
Profit.
have to put in your email address, but if you really don't want to put in your actual email address that you use, you can make up an email address, like you can put in, fart at AOL.com.
Well, to be fair though, I mean Bundle Stars and there's a lot of other services out there like that. They'll do a lot of these Steam bundles, and they're really really cheap. But then again, they're also really really like. I mean, if you're looking to build up your Steam library and you don't give a shit what's in there, Bundle Stars is the way to go. Like for example, they have this one bundle here that's $3.49 and you get like 8 games with it.
Yeah, but what games are they? Push space bar to change the color of your screen.
No, they have decent games like Vector, which is sort of like it's a free running game. They have this is actually a bad example. This one doesn't have a lot of cool stuff in there, but there's actually some other ones that were pretty sweet that I've gotten before. There was like a racing one. Here you go, Reboot 6.0. It's $2.99. You get Postal, Knit Underground, Blockland, which is actually pretty cool. It's like a cross between Lego and a first-person shooter.
Oh, that's cool.
They have Steel Storm, Rock of Ages, and Expeditions Conquistador. So not bad. I see now I would have gotten that, but except they have most of those games. So $2.99 though.
Yeah.
Six.
Honestly, after the fact I saw Pokies join the Bundle Stars group, I joined the group with just sheer curiosity. And although I'm in the minority here, my only problem with buying games through Bundle Stars or even buying games through like Amazon or Google Games or whatever is that I'm probably one of the few people out there that does not have like a debit card or credit card or what have you.
Right.
And even when I had a PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360, how I paid for stuff is through PSN cards or points cards or now Steam cards.
Well, Rageinator, GameStop's got a deal for you.
Yeah.
Look out. All right.
Yeah, I'd rather be raped in the ass with the chainsaw than go to GameStop.
Wow. All right, Rageinator, I got to let you go so we can try and get some more calls. But have fun with the dinosaurs and monkeys with guns, okay?
Have a nice night.
All right, bye. All right, 1-877-GAME-OLR, username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio if you'd like to give us a call. Maybe animals doing crazy things in video games that you want to share with us.
Jurassic Park, the movie, the fighting game.
Was that actually a thing?
No, but I wish it was.
It should be too.
They have Jurassic World next year. We'll probably get some game tie-ins with that. At least I can hope. So, I still remember the Jurassic Park game on Super Nintendo because it was kind of at the height
and even
of
the Genesis
Doom's
one
craziness.
They're good in different ways.
They were totally different, but the Super Nintendo one had the first person super pixelated
yes,
early
I remember that.
like when the Velociraptors would like literally jump out from behind shit and
crazy little
scary
things like that.
I
Those
still
games are
like
hard.
the Sega one. The sit down.
Oh yeah, that's right. The big
That's
cabinet.
great.
Yeah,
The side scroller.
No, it was a shooting game.
The arcade. The arcade.
Oh,
one.
Yeah, gun game.
that one was great. Yeah, definitely.
Which, by the way, I totally forgot what I was going to say. Never mind.
All right, fair enough. One last chance. If you want to give us a call, every gamer has a voice, but only if you use it. 1-877-GAME-OLR, username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio. Tiger Claw reminding us that Chris Pratt is in Jurassic World. Well, that guy's headed straight for the A-list between Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic World. I'm sure is going to do really well, and people love their Parks and Rec. So that guy making good moves. Good career choices. So he's just destined to star in some flop in a couple of years. Like, remember when Halle Berry won the Oscar and then she did Catwoman? Remember that?
Yeah.
Not a good career move.
I'm sorry. There's one thing I care about. One thing that has to happen in my lifetime.
What?
An actual, for real, wonderfully well done Deadpool movie.
Well,
I know.
that footage online.
I know.
It's possible.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I know.
It was very cool. So, how about a Wonder Woman movie? That's what I want to see.
There's
We
supposed
can
to be
have
doing
Guardians
that.
of the Galaxy. We can have a solo Wonder Woman movie.
They're supposed to be doing that after the whole
they are?
Marvel and or is it the
After the-
Batman and Superman movie?
Don't call it a Justice League
For-
movie, but it kind of is.
For the record, I think that Gal Gadot is absolutely gorgeous. And I would go see it just for her.
We briefly, because you weren't here last week, actually, and since we aren't getting a lot of calls tonight, it's a good time for me to kind of ask you about this. Surely you saw the costume. I'm curious on your thoughts, because I was kind of like, well, okay, I didn't hate it, but I was very much like, she does look like Xena.
Everyone was like, it's all brown. It's all brown. And I'm like, so is everything around her. It could be lighting. I mean, I didn't get a really good high-res picture so I could tell. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it could very well have just been lighting. She could have been drenched in blood. The blood of her enemies.
Perhaps.
Although I have to say that I did like the style.
I like the sword and all that, but she's got to have a lasso that makes people tell the truth at some point. I mean, it's Wonder Woman.
Well, you know about how the character came across, right?
What do you mean?
The guy who created Wonder Woman was a fetishist.
Oh Lord!
No, seriously.
Wow.
The lasso had to relate it back to the whole lie detector test. And anytime that she was, her weakness is being bound by a man.
Wow.
And she loses her abilities.
Huh. I
And
don't
she
remember
did
Linda
a
Carter
lot
doing
of,
that.
This was the early iteration, and there was a lot of tying people up in
Bound
Wonder
by
Woman.
a man.
Interesting. Very interesting. All right. Well, that is, and Dungeon Buster is pointing out the lasso is there. It's right next to her sword hand on her hip. Oh, good. I missed that. I guess I didn't see. I just saw the little Twitter picture. I didn't see the. So that's good. I'm glad to hear it. All right. Well, that's, I guess, going to do it. We're not getting any other calls tonight, so our audience is just being shy. I see how it is. If you want to email us, you sure can. You can send an email to participate@orangeloungeradio.com. But for now, we're going to wrap up here in studio. We're on our way out tonight. I want to say thanks to our guests. Diego, great to meet you.
Oh, it's a pleasure, definitely.
And best of luck with SAC Anime coming up in a few weeks. I'm sorry I can't go myself, but Dark Sakura will go and tell me all about the fabulous teabagging going on there.
Fabulous teabagging.
That's right. Maybe, she participated in a cosplay tournament at GamerX, so maybe she'll do one of your gaming tournaments.
Oh, wow. That would
cool.
be really nice.
There you go. She can kick somebody's ass at Tekken. I don't know if that's a thing you guys do.
Oh, that'd be good.
It's been ages since I was at my legendary level of skill in Tekken 3.
Do you like how I'm volunteering her stuff stuff too?
That's amazing. We have our own little Tekken player in our group too, and he goes under the name Heisenberg, I guess, but he just took that off of. Whatever.
My last regular ongoing Tekken playing was in Tekken 4. But my regular wasn't his. They changed all of Jin's moves for 4.
Oh, Jin.
So,
okay, yeah.
and he was my regular in 3. So,
yeah.
Him and Julia.
I like the one that did the capoeira dancing because you could just button mash. Yeah, you could just button mash. It was great.
Yeah.
However, if you actually could play him without mashing, oh my God, even better.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Seriously. It's like watching, you don't know what you're watching. It's just like suddenly there's feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be good to see you there, and the SAC anime is just getting bigger, and we want to make this one the best one possible. And I think you would agree, Jonas, right?
Oh yeah, so especially with the new change in the direction of things as well, with like new generation of systems and the higher demand of new games coming out.
I'll bust out the Homestuck cosplay again.
All right.
I'm one of them.
Well,
no, cool.
Yeah.
Actually, on the speaking on the Homestuck topic of things, surprisingly, I know people sometimes concerned like convention people can criticize Homestuck, but for us game rooms, we're actually 100% welcoming like the Homestuck crew because a lot of them actually play our games, especially the Just Dance section.
Just as long as I don't get Ben Nye all over the controllers.
We'll make sure of that.
Emperor of Husky is in chat right now saying, I hope to see Dark Sakura at SAC Anime.
Oh,
Look at that. You're
is
in
it
demand.
Wendell?
Yep.
I love you, Wendell.
You're in demand.
I want to go.
Well, there you go.
All right, if my costume still fits me, I'll wear it.
All right.
My costume is actually just a slight bit too big for me, and I hope to have a little bit less by the time. So
There you go. Well, you just take it in. Easier to take it in than let it out.
I can't sew for shit.
I hear that.
All right. Awesome. Well, I would say I'm almost sad that I'm going to Dragon Con, but to be honest, I'm really not. Like, I'm fucking excited for Dragon Con, so but I'm sad that they have to be the same weekend. That's a pain in the butt. So All right, Diego, now it's tradition here at OLR. We always ask everybody to give their final thought, like Jerry Springer style. So do you have like a final thought, a final note for our listeners tonight?
Final thought.
You have another song parody you'd like to build out for us?
Oh, I don't know. Whenever I hear a song itself, I usually try to change the lyrics right on the spot.
Fair enough.
But final thought is listen when your name's called out when I'm running a tournament.
That's right.
Pay attention. be smart. I don't know. Just try not to be like the typical con goer, but that's not going to change.
Your final thought is when I talk, you listen. That's
I hope
what
so.
I'm hearing over there.
When anyone's do so, like it feels bad. Like we list up so many people, and about a fourth of those people just drop out because they don't show up or something. I'm like, well, oh well. Let's just go on to the next bracket. Let's go on to the next pairing. It's okay. That's not going to stop us, and if we can satisfy the majority, we did our job. That's the whole thing.
All right. Thanks again for being here, buddy. Well, you're welcome back anytime. Jonas, it's so good to see you again after years and years and years and years and years. Far too long. Thank you for gracing us with your presence tonight. Best of luck teabagging at SAC Anime.
Oh, definitely.
Your teabag orgy and all that stuff. Good luck. I love that. I hope to see you guys at a future con. And, come back anytime.
Oh, definitely.
Now you know where we're at.
Yeah, that's actually one of my final thoughts. Like, if we could probably bring some of our other crew members here. Right now, it's just me and Diego right now. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to give this a big test after like 7 years not being in the show. So I was like, okay.
All right.
And we thought, okay, this would be a great opportunity to network and stuff.
All right, sounds good. Next time, though, we got to hook up some games to the TV and get playing during the show. So I'll let you guys choose what to bring. So.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
All right. Thank you again for being here. A final thought from you, sir.
That was actually my final thought was like to be continued. Like, okay, we're going to have new people in the show to actually speak their mind of things.
Sounds
As you
good.
can see, you saw how Diego I was talking to, and he had a couple laughs. And it's like,
where every gamer has a voice.
Oh, yes.
Bring me more gamers. Lend me their voices. Sounds
and
good.
of course, well, I mean, minus that part, actually it's two little things to discuss. Make sure you guys, the hygiene, of course. Make sure shower. I don't want to see another brown stain.
And if I may add, it's not just Axe. Bathe.
Yes, please. And of course, with my Facebook message being blown up over this whole San Diego Comic Con with the sexual harassment incident with the cosplayer. Mm-hmm. Everybody, please get concrete information. Don't go spreading the wrong information because it all causes more confusion.
And don't listen to the girl's mom.
I think that goes for anything. Like, don't fucking spread rumors. Stop it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I will tell you this. There's a reason I reposted things is because when they were still looking for apparently the person.
Sure.
When you spread the information like that, there is a chance that in legitimate cases, people will have witnesses. It's spreading awareness.
Right.
However, when the final word came out, there were still people going, oh, I bet that's not true. I bet that's not true. And no, it was true. So my personal thought on it is I still don't really believe the whole story yet because we don't have the whole story.
I know the authorities were looking for a certain person so they could ask some questions. They could do their job. I hope they are able to do their job and figure out a very ugly situation. Anyhow, thanks again, guys, for being here. Really appreciate it. Loki, since you're over there, we'll see you next week. Do you have a final thought for our listeners tonight?
No. I don't know. I'm very jealous that Vanguard V has pretty awesome title theme. Wish I could find one of those for free.
That's why it's awesome. It's not free. Anyway,
they're never going to hit their Kickstarter goal, by the way. There's no way they're going to make 100 and...
that's too bad.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I'm sad.
As always, I just want to say, if you enjoyed what you heard here at Orange Lounge Radio, please tell a friend or two about the show. Help spread the word about Orange Lounge Radio because, we don't have big magazines or huge $1 million websites backing us. That we never have for the past 12 years. So tell a friend or 50 about the show. Help spread the word about Orange Lounge Radio, and that's all we ask. My final thought tonight, otherwise, is I'm craving some more of that apple soda. That was really good. Apple soda. Who would have thought?
The El Forastero.
Yeah, right down. Just tell everybody where I live, Dark Sakura. All right, I'm just kidding. It's not...
There are 5 of them in freaking town, Rob.
Fair enough.
And they're almost indistinguishable from Adalberto's, Carolina's, and all of the other places that are technically all were part of the same chain and then split apart.
I was going to say probably all owned by the same person.
No, it's actually true. They all started off as Adalberto's
really?
and then started splitting off.
Wow.
Yep.
Jeez. Shut up, really? That's what happened? Adalberto was married to somebody that... Wait, give Diego Mike. Give Diego Mike.
There's a Beto's by my house, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Alberto was married to some chick, and then they divorced and such, and then she made something called Beto's, which is off the corner of El Camino and Howe. And then it's still on...
There's one in Citrus Heights now.
So all
Beto's?
these...
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
there's some,
that's her branch. So she took kind of like that little thing, except changed the name.
so there's
They
like
sell
some,
they sell the same things. Though,
there's some
exactly.
telenovela shit going on with all these different taquerias.
I'm sure there's some going on.
All right. Wow. All right. There you go. Last but not least, Dark Soccer, your final thought for our listeners tonight.
Bravely defart.
That'll do it for another episode of Orange Lounge Radio. Thanks again for listening, everybody. Be nice to each other. Bathe, please. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
You've been listening to Orange Lounge Radio. Orange Lounge Radio is a production of OLR Studios. To join us for a live show, tune into VogNetwork.com Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. The views and opinions expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of the staff of Orange Lounge Radio or Vog Network, but you know they were all still true. See you next week.